So this is it, the night the whole nation has been waiting for. Who will win the final to the British Bouldering Championships 2021? So the semi-finals have been and gone. We've had some great action, lots of big names through to the final. Max Milne looking in great form, Nathan Phillips reigning champion still there, Tara Hayes, Holly Tootill, it's all to play for in tonight's final. But before that, let's check out our intro to climbing.
Right, so anybody watching at home who hasn't seen a bouldering competition before, who doesn't know how a bouldering competition wins or how the runs or how the climber wins, behind us we've got 10 boulder problems. These are called boulder problems after bits of rock out in the countryside, but these are 10 boulder problems. John, what do we see behind us here? When someone comes out and sits and looks at this, what's the objective?
Yeah, so essentially a problem, as it sounds, is something that the competitors have to solve. So they've never seen the climbs before, they're going to be sitting, they're going to turn around and be presented with the climb, and effectively they need to figure out what's the most efficient way to climb it to get to the top in the least amount of attempts.
So you've got 4 minutes to have as many goes as you have. Obviously, get it first. The winner is whoever does the most problems in the fewest possible goes, is that right? So obviously the first goes the best,
exactly.
Second go better.
Exactly. So over the course of the 5 climbs during the round, you're going to get a total as you go. So the best score that you could get would be 5 tops in 5 attempts.
Right. Okay. So obviously there's going to be nuance. You're doing very well if you do 5 tops in 5 attempts. So if you're the competitor, you come out and look at this. Your clock's ticking. What do you think? What's your mind doing?
Yeah, so the first thing I do as a competitor would be to look at the tape marks on the wall. So these little bits of orange, they signify all the different starting positions. So this is signifying 2 feet and then 2 hands. And once I step onto the wall, that's
your goal started.
That's my attempt started, right. And if I fall off, I've had an attempt.
Okay.
So, as we said before, the idea is to get from the bottom to the top in the fewest amount of attempts. And
the top is signified by?
Big orange mark on the wall.
Two hands?
Yeah, 2 hands in control. There's a little slight variation, which is if you don't get to the top of the wall, there's another point on the wall highlighted by the blue tape mark, which is called the zone hold. And the zone hold is the next best thing to a top. So again, the same principle applies. You want to get to that zone point in the least amount of attempts possible.
Okay, it's going to be very subtle. Since somebody comes out and does this one first go, does this one first go, and then gets to a zone and 3 goes. And is the scoring complicated? Is there a logic to it all?
There is a logic to it, but obviously the more competitors that come out, you've got everybody's doing 5 different climbs. They're taking a different amount of attempts. It can be quite difficult to keep control of exactly what's going on, but that's why we have the score system on the screen.
And we'll be trying to talk people along about how they're all doing. And just from here, John, could we get the camera person up here to show what the holes look like up close? Because this is pretty interesting, isn't it? Because you won't see that from the screen so much.
Absolutely.
Let's just show you these holes. Right, John, we're here under the wall. What's the objective of a bouldering competition? There's lots of coloured blobs in the wall here. For someone watching at home doesn't understand it, what's happening here?
For sure. Okay, so each of these climbs is called a boulder problem. Okay, and we have 5 of these different climbs in this particular round. Okay, so this is the first one here in front of us.
The blue and white one.
The blue and white holds. Okay, and very simply, the objective is to get to the top in the least amount of attempts. Okay, so where do we start? We start by the feet, which are marked with these 2 tape lines. That shows the feet, and this shows the hands. And the finish is signified by the orange tape at the top of the wall.
So you got to get there. And
you've got to get to the top in as least amount of attempts as possible.
You got 4 minutes to do this, haven't you?
4 minutes per climb. And if you can't get to the top, the next best thing is called the zone hold, which is the hold marked with the blue bit of tape. And again, the same principle applies. Get there in the least amount of attempts.
So that's like a zone hold half a point.
It's kind of a half point, yeah.
Okay.
And effectively, over the course of your climbing round, you can have 5 of these climbs. You take your total score across. So the best score you could get would be 5 tops in 5 attempts.
Right, brilliant. So in case people are watching at home, you can't see these, but just want to talk very briefly about the holds. The friction is very poor. They're actually upside down. There's no what you would understand as proper holds. Can you just get a close on these, see what these look like? They're just, you got to work really hard to hang on to them, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's not like some of the older style holds where they're very crimpy. These holds tend to be high friction holds, and you've really got to have a good understanding of body movement and coordination.
Just these are they're just surfaces. There's kind of nothing even to hang on to, is there?
Absolutely, yeah. So you've got to understand a lot about body positioning, movement, and really use all 4 points very efficiently.
Beautiful. Well, that sounds pretty simple when you put it like that.
It is simple. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a go. So this is the first climb that I'm going to try today. Fingers crossed I can do it.
The holes are tiny, look at them. They're like something you'd scrape off your windscreen, that is, John.
Well, we'll see. So a bit of chalk dries the hands out. You'll see the competitors using a lot of that over the weekend. And here we go. I'll give it a go. So 2 hands, 2 feet to start.
Yeah.
And then I can move across. Squeaky footholds.
But small little holes, especially for the feet. He's not going to do it. He's done it.
There we go.
Nice
and
one,
the top held in control, which is really important. The judges will hold up a scorecard to say, okay,
Crowd goes crazy.
and the crowd goes crazy.
Hey, nice one. I think I understand competition climbing now. Thanks for that.
No problem. Hopefully all the competitors go that well.
Hi, we're back. We're here for the finals. If anyone, I hope you saw the semi-finals this morning. Fantastic rounds, and that's produced a number of climbers for the final. Guys, what do you think of it?
Yeah, we saw the cream of the crop there, didn't we?
It's pretty impressive, wasn't it? 6 men, 6 women qualifying for tonight's final, and I was actually blown away. You know, they've had a long time out of comps, and to come back in, and some of the performances that were put in were just next level. Like Max Milne in particular was just seemed to be insanely ahead of the crew.
And Tara Hayes as well, like
Yeah.
really back on amazing form. Quite different men's and women's semi-finals in terms of the number of tops and the difficulty. So it'll be really interesting to see what they've got in store for them here. We're lucky enough to have the boulder problems in front of us.
Yeah.
So we're getting a first peek.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting, particularly in the female category. Obviously, there was a lot of skin lost over the last
bloody
2
hell.
days.
Yeah.
I know the route setters, they've had a bit of a tinker on a few things, hopefully just toning it down so they can get through.
Yeah,
But
you almost hope they go easy on them, don't you?
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're not. It's still
Maybe
going to be
the
a big
men's run was a
challenge.
bit easy, a lot of tops, wasn't there, and the women's run a bit hard. But I guess that's what they're here to see, and they'll maybe tweak the problems to adjust for that.
it seemed perfect to me. I mean, we had all 4 tops in the men's round, and then in the female category, just one climb didn't get done.
Yeah, just women's too, and I think it was just a bit of that element of the type of holds, the amount of skin that had maybe already been lost and that was claimed by that problem, because I have no doubt that the female athletes were very capable of topping it, but maybe they've tweaked things a little bit to just take account of the
hands looked like
volume.
they'd been set a reactor at Chernobyl, didn't they? They just think, oh my God, what's happened to you?
One of the performances I think that stood out for me was Gwyneth Utterly. You know, she topped that 4th climb just at the last minute, and then she walked back past through the booth and had 4 split tips and just said, 1 for each boulder. I thought that was pretty good.
And really impressive climbing from her. She came out quite early in the field in the semis, and got into the finals, and just really did an amazing job of unlocking the sequences on the climbs that she did. I think.
Yeah, the standard is just, for British climbing, I think, has just gone up a notch. We've had a huge amount of development from the junior teams coming through, and they're starting to hit the senior program. So, like, out of the 20 in the semi-final, literally, you could have had, 15 out of the 20 to make it through into the 6. I don't think that's ever happened, really. Well, not that I can recall, anyway.
No, for sure. And a fair few people might have missed out on the final who, you think are completely capable of competing in this final at some point, and hopefully they will in the years to come.
Tell you what I thought the standout performance of the first half was? Us 3. There was not 1 second of silence.
A couple of minutes about us.
There was not 1 second of silence. I was just talking the entire time. I have no idea what anything was about. Same as you two guys, but you just kept talking. I got to say, I mean, people train for this for most of their lives, but we're just sort of pure natural.
I think if there's one thing I can speak for a prolonged period of time about, it's climbing.
Right, I think you can say it's rubbish.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll outperform the climbers in this final tonight as well.
We'll certainly
People will be
outtalk them.
talking about this commentating for years to come.
I've saved my best gags for this part.
It was interesting watching, though, all the different climbers talking about our own approach. Like, the climbers themselves, Emily Phillips couldn't help but notice, she was really cursing throughout the round, and that's good to see, that emotion. You don't often...
I think she said one of the big words.
I think she did. I think
Good thing they don't have headphones attached to them.
there was a few bombs
Mic
dropped.
sets, yeah.
Don't you miss the days of, seeing chalk bags being kicked? And,
Score sheets been ripped up.
Yeah.
Punches been thrown.
Yeah.
You must have punched a few people in your days, John. You're such a frustrated athlete. You must have sort of landed a
frustrated man.
punch in the chin every now and again. A headbutt.
I mean, that's why you're here with us. You're actually not allowed to compete.
yeah. He's got a restraining order.
Okay, so I think we're going to have a switch over. We're going to see some interesting
Adverts, I
content
think.
from our amazing sponsors.
Thank
Here
you,
we go.
sponsors. Thank you,
Con
sponsors.
Raw have brought Team Rawsome together for a series of mountain challenges. Today, we're at the Papa Glen Co for fast-paced sprint to the mountains knoll. First to finish gets a head start on the next challenge.
2, 1.
So I'm Rory Southworth. I'm known for moving quite quickly in the mountains.
I'm Alex Staniforth. I'm known for doing multi-day ultra-endurance challenges.
This is not a sustainable pace. He's catching up.
I think I found a little shorter route. See if I can sneak up on him.
For me, those challenges are what makes life worthwhile. It takes away all the noise from our modern lives and strips us back to who we really are.
Pushing through times that are tough, times where you're tired, leads to a much greater strength, both physically and mentally. By winning the first challenge, it's given me this 30-second head start going into the next challenge.
is where the heart is. Home is where the art is. Home is where the race starts. Home is where our friends meet. Home is our place, our hill, our street. Home is where we splash out, hang out, crash out. Home is where we know and love. Our favorite bench, cafe, and pub. Home is somewhere we explore, always finding something more. Home is where we lace our shoes, home is where we rest our boots. Sheffield, make yourself at home.
There's gotta be something that I've never experienced that I'm about to. There's gotta be something that happens to you when you're out there. Something in the solitude and the serenity.
Please!
And I wanna know.
Please!
I wanna know what this is about. I wanna know why people risk broken collarbones. Risk being stranded, risk seeing wolves.
Would you guys go home?
This is a whole new world for me.
Look at this.
Team Rawsome together for a series of mountain challenges. This morning was our race at the Papaglain Cove. Now we search a night camp, located somewhere within this forest. First to find it goes to the final.
Because I lost in the last challenge, Rory has a head start on me. I'm going to work even harder to make that back.
But to get that head start, I put a lot of effort in. In the woods, it's much more his style.
Going in.
Nature can really take things up a notch.
It's all about your ability to rise above that.
My energy lies in the challenge of the terrain. The more technical it is, the more challenging it is, the more I want to speed over it.
Made it. I'll get him next time.
By winning the first two challenges, I go through to the final, up against some serious competition. Rubicon Raw have brought Team Rawsome together for a series of mountain challenges. This morning was our race at the Papag Lane Cove. Now we search for night camp, located somewhere within this forest. First to find it goes to the final.
Because I lost in the last challenge, Rory has a head start on me. I'm going to work even harder to make that back.
But to get that head start, I put a lot of effort in. In the woods, it's much more his style.
Going in.
Nature can really take things up a notch.
It's all about your ability to rise above that.
My energy lies in the challenge of the terrain. The more technical it is, the more challenging it is, the more I want to speed over it.
Made it. I'll get him next time.
By winning the first two challenges, I go through to the final, up against some serious competition.
And we're back.
We're live.
We're live. Cliffhanger 2021. BBC's 2021.
British Bouldering Championships 2021.
I'm literally frothing with excitement.
Here we go. We got the start list for the men's final. So they come out in reverse order for the final. So the person who qualified in 6th position, Ben Preston, is coming out first. Then we're going to have Billy Rydell, Matt Cousins, Nathan Whaley, Nathan Phillips, and then closing it out with Max Milne. That's a pretty good list.
4 minutes per problem.
Field.
Yeah. 4 minutes a block, dead. And we're going to have men and women climbing at the same time this round because obviously there's a bit more space between competitors. We can do that. So won't be doubling up the time like we were in semi-final, which is good.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, they'll be climbing alongside each other, and I think Max Milne is. I mean, what was his goal? World domination, total domination, absolute domination.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be at one with the universe.
No,
he wants to dominate the universe. He wants to be the universe.
Yeah, he's definitely, I think, planning to come out and completely dominate this final.
Gwen Morgan, fantastic semi-finals. Jennifer Wood, very strong. Emily Phillips tried well and climbed well. Gwyneth Utney with the full guts performances.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Holly Tootle climbed like a master. Tara Hayes pretty dominant.
Yeah, Tara Hayes really looked on amazing form. The only woman she topped women's 1, 3 and 4, and women's 2 was very tricky.
She was like the silent assassin.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're just about to have them come out in a couple of minutes. We'll introduce the finalists and they'll be presented to the crowd. They've all been issued with fruit to throw, rotten fruit to throw.
Yeah, we hope they're all feeling well recovered. I mean, you know,
oh my God, no chance.
It's not really that long, is it? Since those, especially those female finalists, were out here climbing. I imagine it feels like no time at all when you've spent 2 days climbing on this wall.
Unforgiving, high friction grippers.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to really manage their attempts on this final. Cause you know what it's like climbing with tape on your fingers.
I mean, Gwyneth already had tape on the majority of her fingers.
My problem with tape is that even in between each attempt, it just moves, doesn't it?
Oh,
and then you have to re-tape. So just managing that alone in such a small time allocation, you know.
I think she'll be so excited to be in the final, though. So this time when they come out, they'll be presented to the wonderful crowd here that we've got behind us. It's really nice to have the support for these climbers, and they'll get to view the problems, won't they, John?
That's right, yeah. So we're sat in front of the stage. We've had a good old perv over the climbs, and I had a chat with Alex Fry before each climb, so he's going to give you a bit of an insight just as to how each of the climbs is going to go. But we've really been spoiled this whole weekend by the route setting. Amazing grips, and you can see on your screen here there's some big red blobs in front of you. That's men's 4.
Would you say in the first round everyone who did the problems did it as it was set to be done? Is that right? There was no sort of
breaking.
Yeah, no even room for manoeuvre outside the sort of the planned sequence was all that worked.
Yeah.
I think we saw a few attempts, but I'm not sure any of them got anyone to the top.
No. But just to catch you all up, if you didn't manage to catch the semi-final, some scores on your screen just showing...
There's those numbers again. What do they mean, John? What do they mean?
So the columns you really need to look at are on the right-hand side. The numbers of tops and the numbers of zones. So Max Milne, 4 tops in 5 attempts, almost the perfect round. The best you can do is 4 and 4 on both of those columns. So he was super consistent. But couple of people, big hitters you can see there at the bottom of the list. Alex Waterhouse, Oren Coley, just missing out on finals by number of attempts to top. So real shock there.
And a few people doing really well as well, like Diane and Jack, who are sort of coming up from the junior kind of ranks and performing really well in this really strong senior field. So I'm sure we'll see some amazing things from them in the future.
And then let's cross over to the women's category. You can see here the tops. Obviously there was one less top, one boulder didn't get done in the semi-finals, so 3 and 5 was the best score. That's 3 tops in 5 attempts, and then to qualify you actually only needed 1 top in 3 attempts. So Jen Wood just squeezing in 3 attempts due to her number of zones secured. So awesome effort from her. Obviously being local, she was thrilled.
I'm sure she's psyched, and I actually think there might have been a little error on that. I think Jen has actually qualified in 6 because she had a zone on all of them, which Gwen didn't. But
so there's isolation. Is this isolation?
Still, I think the number of, the amount of green on the women's field there compared to the men's just shows how difficult that semi-final was. Really challenging for the athletes.
That's them all trying to psych each other out. I saw you at the back. Your skin is very poor at the minute. And I think you've given your best so far. I've held back. I've been training for this day. No. I saw you. You were struggling on the 4th problem. Me.
So that's the female finalists just all trying to psych each other out before coming out for the show. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, out the back, the men are all just doing...
You look fantastic out there. You look fantastic out there.
Yeah, they're all flexing their biceps, aren't they? And taking Instagram shots for each other.
Well, I saw them all sort of doing each other's hair out there later on. Giving each other rubs and
checking out each other's shorts and what do you think of my shorts?
Where'd you get those? They're lovely. Where'd you get those?
You can tell a lot about a guy by
if you look over there, there's men's problem 3. And a couple of hours ago, that was the most important thing in the world. Now it's just a sort of pile of unwanted plastic sat on a piece of grass. It's funny how it's just a metaphor for climbing careers, isn't it? I mean,
it's almost about $3,000 worth of kit there,
and it doesn't matter. It just sat there on the low.
Right, we've got the finalists coming out now.
Oh wow!
And present them to the crowd. I'm sure we'll get a lot of love for these climbers from the Sheffield audience.
Oi!
And the lads are over on the right.
Emily Phillips and Matt Cousins coming on.
Matt Cousins, he's been here before, hasn't he?
Yep, previous champion.
There's Holly and Nathan coming on.
And here's Max.
That's Tara and Max.
Interestingly, both holding their first position from semi-finals as well. Is that right?
Yeah, they both qualified and semi-finals and first. Yeah, amazing.
You look at 2 potential winners and 10 losers.
So we're going to cut away now. They're going to do the viewings of their first boulders, and at some point we'll give you a little insight into each boulder. Alex Fry, one of the route setting team, was kind enough to just talk us through the style of each boulder, so we'll give you a bit of insight shortly.
So here we've got them touching some of the first holds. Do you just want to give us a bit of an outline of what they're allowed to do here in this time?
Yeah, so in the viewing, essentially, they can basically see the climb. So unlike previous rounds where you have to come out and do it on site, now they're working together as a team to sort of try and solve the problem collectively. So Niall, if you were out there, you'd probably be disseminating poor information, just pure psychological warfare.
I take this as my left.
You'd be doing that air climbing, wouldn't you? Like lots of hands doing the movements, but not touching it.
Inverting, lots of.
I'd be sort of doing that air falling thing.
Yeah.
And I fall off here,
and then you just diner to the top.
So yeah, you can see. Basically, they get the 2 minutes per boulder just to try and work together, figure it all out. And what that basically means is, when they come out, they're giving maximum effort on each boulder as they go forward. So,
and obviously that's just because of what climbing is. It's not a real sport. It's a friend's.
You tell that to them, pal. You tell that to them.
These are serious athletes.
Imagine before a sort of World Boxing Championships, and sort of going, well, I might punch you a bit with my left hand, then I'm going to knock you really hard with my right hand. Okay, right, well, I'm just going to punch you in the chin really hard at about a minute. Is that okay? That sounds really good. Yeah. Literally like that.
Hopefully, we won't have any fights breaking out on the mat.
No.
I think it's good that we keep you on the commentating side of things, Niall.
Just absolutely causing carnage.
I mean, these athletes are, a lot of them, they're on the GB team together, so they're actually used to climbing together a lot. This is probably a really nice element and part of it that they're actually really used to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're transferring now. They've had their 2 minutes, so they're checking out the second climb now. And just to give you a bit more info, so they can touch the start holds, but obviously they can't leave the ground, and they can't touch further than that. So Niall, you can look, but you can't touch.
Right, okay.
Is this where it's useful to be taller? Can you touch more holes if you're taller?
No, you're not. You're only allowed to touch the start holes, Maddie. Come on, always working an angle. You're always working an angle.
Well, that's where we could decide whether it was easier for tall climbers, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Billy here, having a good old fondle of the grips, find those right positions.
So you can sort of look and see what to do. Even it's very obvious what you're doing, isn't it? So you're trying to get an idea of how good a hold is. Maybe at most you're trying to get an idea of how long you can pause in a certain hold, because the sequences are in some ways maybe some nuance in it, but they look fairly obvious. Going by the semi-finals, what it looks like you do is kind of what you do.
So the finals generally it's sort of the showcase event. It's you've done so much work to get there. Semi-finals traditionally is always the hardest round because you want to get the best athletes through into the final, and then the final's just an opportunity for them to really showcase their skills. So you're going to see, I think, quite a lot of jumping about, really impressive movements that they, will really impress the crowd and be really fun to climb.
Yeah, I mean, from where I'm sat, definitely a few of them do look harder to read than they were in the semi-finals, maybe through having just a lot more holds on and different angles. We've got a lot of these like big volumes, where you wouldn't quite know where to hold on them, and there's a lot of room to move in terms of the body positions that people get into. So now that we've really got the the top 6 athletes here, I think the route setters are definitely looking to separate them out through probably a few more nuances.
Yeah, and so as we move through now, we're onto the viewing of the third problem. I mean, when I used to compete, I used to really like the viewings, and it's great, you're out there
as a competitor.
Yeah, but I've got such a bad memory. I used to go back into isolation and be like, what was the first climb again? I just can't really, I was terrible at remembering things. So even though I had a 2-minute viewing, I'd come back out and it'd be like exactly the same.
You just spent the 3 minutes sort of waving at the crowd.
Yeah, just like a deer caught in the headlights.
Yeah, I suppose like most, most of the people here are really quite well seasoned competitors. They're probably no strangers to finals, so they'll probably really be trying to gather that information, commit it to memory, and maybe even make a bit of a tactical plan. Like there might be one problem that really suits them, that's problem 3, and they might look to save themselves on one that maybe doesn't suit them as much. Do you commit things like that to memory?
I think you definitely get a sense for like which climbs you think are the easy ones and the hard ones, and I don't know, it's for me it was always about listening to the crowd and trying to and they give you so much feedback. Obviously you're not allowed to watch the other competitors, but you can hear what's going on and you know whether people are topping, and that would be the bit that for me was
John, saying you're in problem 1, and you're sort of having a rest, you'd look over to check the rate in problem 3.
No, so we're going to climb 1 and 1 at the time. So it's not unlike the semi-final where you have people on every single climb. We finish block 1. Every competitor does block 1, and then we move on to block 2.
Gotcha.
So today in the final there'll only be 2 people on screen at once, a man and a woman, and we'll all complete the boulder and then all move on to the next one.
So they'd be looking across at, the men would be looking across at the female on the corresponding problem, and they might start daydreaming. They might be like, oh, that looks like a good problem, I wish I was trying that one.
Yeah, exactly. So onto the final
that one really
boulder.
suits me.
Yeah. So we've got quite a bit of black tape on the wall today.
Yep.
Signifying, I guess, areas where you can't go outside of. I guess this is to try and add another element of constraint to certain problems. You know, the route setters forcing certain sequences.
Exactly. The way this wall's built, there's sort of a number of features in various areas, arêtes and grooves and things. So the out-of-bounds taping, as you say, is just to try and keep the competitors focused and not get any assistance from sort of the natural features of the wall. So on this men's final problem, there's a big line of black tape down the side, which they're not allowed to go past. But this final.
What you mean is you can't, your hands or feet can't go out, go beyond that, and touch the
exactly.
Can't touch the surface.
So you couldn't just be like, I just use that arête.
Exactly. And it's just one of the ways that route setters protect their sequences and just make sure that nobody cheats basically the climb that they've set. But I can tell you, looking at these final problems, they're going to be bouncing around like the Duracell bunny. It looks really dynamic, multi-coordination moves.
So hopefully they've all fueled up well in their break for this, and they'll probably be warming up. It's a bit like that feeling when you have to warm up and you're really tired and it feels really difficult. Do you think it's like that?
Yeah, I was hoping I'd get put out by now.
I don't know, for finals I never normally warmed up that much because I was still so warm from the previous round.
You don't want to tire yourself out anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I had one good go in me at the best of times, so I don't want to compromise that. And of course, we keep banging on about skin, but it's so important in modern competitions. Just looking forward, we're obviously coming into Olympics. That'll be the next big event on our screens soon, and being over there, the temperature and the humidity, that's going to be a big factor, so I'm sure they'll be talking a lot about that.
Just to explain, you mentioned the Olympics. The Olympics are coming up in a few weeks' time. Climbing is in the Olympics for the first time ever. It'll be different from this. The Olympics is more like a sort of a 3-part competition, with this being one of the parts. Bouldering, one being lead, where you sort of do maybe 6 times ahead of this, you clip a rope in, and now we're speed climbing on a set course. So this is one third of the disciplines
Yeah.
of the Olympic climbing event.
Exactly. So obviously we've got a British competitor heading out into Tokyo, and obviously all super proud of Shauna and wishing her the best.
Yeah, definitely.
She's really going to do us proud over there, and I mean,
She already has, John.
yeah, exactly. Qualifying is just an amazing feat. So
And we might see more qualifications in the future from some of these guys.
yeah,
Really an interesting thing. I saw Shauna qualified at Hachioji, didn't she? Hachioji comp.
yes, yeah.
And I watched some of that, and you just saw lots of people crying, lots of tears being shed on screens. There's these heartbroken competitors, and I saw her not long after you got back in. And I mentioned this. It looked tough, and she said, "No, I had a brilliant time. I was loving it." No, so that's an interesting.
Was it Paris? I thought it was Paris. Was it Hachioji?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll keep
No, it was just an
Call yourself
illustration
a
of the
comp
difference.
climber, John.
Right, well here we go anyway. We're in Sheffield, I know where I am now.
We're off.
Okay, so Boulder 1.
So the athletes have 4 minutes flat to attempt these boulder problems. That means when their 4 minutes are up, their time is up.
So first competitor's out. We will cut away and we'll show you a little insight into each of the boulders as we start.
Good,
and it'll
Gwen.
appear in the bottom corner of your screen.
Amazing start here from Gwen, making really good progress there for his first attempt at that problem.
Men's one, tell us a bit about it.
So it's basically a slippery start, so it'll get them a little bit nervous maybe, so maybe a few slips on the start, but overall I think this is actually one of the easiest boulders in the final.
Nice, so you give them a bit of a gibby to start.
Well, physically easy, but a bit weird and a bit slippy, and I think they might be a bit nervous on it because of the style of it.
Okay, so that gives you a bit of insight as to the first boulder for the men. And Ben Preston doing a really good job getting stuck into these X-Cult volumes.
And Gwen's lodged in the groove. Ooh.
Women's one
So
looks
hard
really
to generate
technical.
when your legs really got these good start upward momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard.
she's looking quite, I guess, stretched out in that bridging position, but she's made quite good progress. Like the time is still a little bit over 2 minutes, and hopefully securing the zone on this, she'll manage to get done at least.
Yeah. And Ben Preston over on the right hand side on these big X-Cult features, he's actually having to stand up on this super polished portion of the volume, so there's no texture.
He's got to get
on
another
that.
hand on, doesn't he? Is it?
Yeah, it's
Oh, no, it's
around the corner, but super difficult to get anything out of those feet, just sliding around on the right hand side, but he's on.
And he's making it work.
Yeah.
It looks like a really tentative start to the men's final.
Yeah, super difficult to get any weight through the feet to start, and the big volume he's using for his hands, the friction is all the way back deep, and of course the further back you reach, the less weight you can put through your feet, so it's a really obvious trick. But Ben's up, making good progress through here. I think we might see a top. Here we go. Yes.
Amazing.
First top of the day.
So all eyes on Gwen, come on.
The final. So the way it'll work now is obviously we'll wait for Gwen to finish her attempt on this climb. She has 4 minutes flat, so we've got about a minute to go. Hopefully she'll get a top, and then we'll move on to the next pair.
She's sort of
Come
sticking
on.
with that same sequence,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I guess looking at it from where I'm sat, it sort of looks like the way, except maybe if she just got a slightly lower foot, she might be able to make it slightly less powerful.
Yeah, it looks super techy to get established on this. A lot of weight, lot of smearing through those volumes.
And again, Gwen's quite small, 5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a greater distance for her leg. Come on, Gwen.
Here we go. Trust those feet now.
It's a matter of knowing how early to stab
the
out
hips.
with your foot, isn't it?
Yeah.
If she gets a bit higher and then stabs out, obviously you're a lot more set up for getting that right hand side pull.
She's got
That's
20 seconds left now. She's really giving it her all.
Super good effort. So here we go, lining up this final attempt. 10 seconds on the clock. She's going to have to be quick to make this zone. Oh, just missing out.
Yeah, and unfortunately I don't think she'll be awarded that as a zone, because you do actually have to control it in a way that looks like you can
It
move
was a
off
stroke.
It was a stroke.
Yeah.
Okay, so next two out. Sheffield residents, Billy Rylaw and Jen Wood.
Jen Wood. We never found out why the women didn't have a special.
Yeah, we need to find that out. So again, just prepping all the holds. These guys are seasoned competitors, so they know that they just want to get one good go, so maximise that chance.
But he's looking keen.
Yes and no. Again, so physically easier, but stylistically it'll make them a little bit nervous, a bit off balance, and a sort of slight sort of coordination skip across the corner.
Nice.
Okay, Billy's topped out men's 1 pretty easily.
Yeah, he made quick work of that, didn't he? A really good technical climber, and one of those slightly lower angle problems. Were we just losing Jen then?
Jen was strong in that, but just
really was.
Her right heel said no.
But Billy absolutely flew up that, making really short work of those features. Good for him to get a flash on the board. I mean, that's the name of the game in this round.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jen will be happy with that attempt. She looked like she was making really smooth progress, actually, just sort of popped off there. And, I think in the semi-finals there was a few problems she looked so close to, but, just didn't quite get the top. So I think she'll be really psyched to have a clean slate now and to really try hard at these problems.
And getting the zone first time as well. You just never know if people are going to slip off and nobody's going to top it. So, yeah.
You think that might happen, John?
It's always possible, nerves get the better of you. But I'm pretty confident, having seen Jen get up there first time, that it's going to get done for sure. So taking the time, one good go every 2 minutes. I think that's a really good strategy from Jen. Maximise her efforts.
Yeah, you'd be thinking I've got a good chance of doing this time, so no rush.
Yeah, we might see more and more of that. Obviously, with only 2 climbers climbing at once, there might be a fair bit of time when they are both on the mat, and that is just because it's a really good approach to make sure that you rest enough.
Trying to figure out this top move. She just can't get that heel to work.
There it is. Come on.
So let's go.
You can see that left foot shaking with how much she's trying. And that was That was a bit of a tricky dismount there. She looks like she might be a little bit winded. But she's up. She's brushed it off. She's tough. She's a tough cookie.
Yeah. Well, she's had 2 attempts on the same method there. So I wonder if she'll have a change of sequence.
No, I think it looks like the right method.
That almost looked like it stuck, didn't it, in the end? I think she spent a bit of time working on that heel, which I don't think she will try that again.
And she just took all the tape off her fingers. So maybe she's just thinking,
do or die.
Exactly.
Unleashing the skin.
Either she thinks she needs it to do the boulder, or she's just going to grease it up for everyone else.
Okay, Skin, I don't like you and you don't like me. But this time we're doing the problem.
So she's putting in that time, brushing the holds, even though the time is counting down. So because of COVID, obviously we'd usually have brushers brushing the holds, but the athletes are doing it themselves.
So here she goes, tape off, one good go. I think she knows what to do, moving really quickly and efficiently. She's going to have to be quick.
Really smooth execution.
She's fine.
Here
She's fine.
Watch this.
There she goes.
Watch this.
Just falling down.
10 seconds on the clock. That was such an amazing effort from Jen.
Couldn't quite find that right body position just to take the weight and allow her to match. Super
and it must
close.
be so hard when you've got sort of 10 seconds counting down on the clock. I actually think she did an amazing job keeping it together to get up to that point, and it'll be really disappointing for her that she missed out on that top, but I still think that was, a good start to her climbing competition in terms of her smooth movement and stuff. Really nice.
And just looking across, it looks like she's taken a real beating on the leg, falling off that.
Oh, it does. It looks like
really grazed herself. Emily straight up, and
we have Matt Cousins out on men's 1. Matt Cousins, who I thought that was one of the amazing highlights of the semis. He just floated up men's 3.
I know.
As if he weighed nothing.
And here's Emily.
And we've got
first try.
Emily, one hand on the top, but we know that it's not trivial to match this at all.
So got to find the right position.
Sort of searching around. She can use those screw holes.
It's got to be down to the toe hook of the right foot, isn't it?
think she needs some lateral push to get the weight into that big undercut. That's the trick.
Oh, and we see that boulder problem take a little bit more skin, I think, from another competitor.
Just shows how precarious those feet are. That's both
and how committed you got to be. You got to be just fully focused, don't you? Not
100%.
let those fears enter your mind.
So Matt Cousins is looking pretty smooth here on this men's one.
He's off.
Going a bit more dynamically than Billy and Ben did on that top section. Both of them.
So I was just watching that problem one where you're trying to get the toe hook in, but one thing crossed my mind is often you see climbers on Instagram doing coordination moves where like two limbs move at once. A toe hook will land at the same time as a side pull. And it crossed my mind that could be something you could do there, but I suppose though that stuff's so much more practiced what they show you on Instagram.
Yeah, that's for an Insta flex.
Yeah,
do you know that term?
No, but I dig it. I dig it. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had to learn it from the kids. You know? That's learned from the strong youth.
Right.
So Emily and Matt pulled back on.
Because in general, the problems we've been witnessing haven't been as dynamic as you might see in some World Cup comps, and not so much coordination going on, is there?
Not just yet. I think that's going to ramp up as we go through the round for sure. But both Emily and Matt
come on, Emily.
High now. Here we go. See if she can get this match this time.
So she's made it back up there really smoothly and quickly.
And Matt keeping pace with the other guys, really important. He knows how many attempts the others have had.
Emily didn't get that. Wasn't in control, was it?
No,
and the way it is here, like the competitors, although they aren't watching each other, they can hear what's going on. So Matt will have come out to that, and he will have known that both Billy and Matt will have topped quickly.
And what's really interesting on the female one route is there's a red foothold at the top of the large triangular volume that none of them have actually used yet. And I just wonder if perhaps that's they need to sink lower onto their feet to maybe match the finishing hold using the two small screw-ons rather than getting suckered into that foot on the right. So just wondering, maybe that's the method.
It looks like quite a long distance, that, doesn't it? I guess just from here. I mean, we've talked about the optical illusions of climbers' height on the wall. To me, that looks like quite a long distance for maybe the majority of the competitors' heights to reach between.
It's just interesting, isn't it, when you get a boulder like this with, we've had three top-level British athletes both struggling, all struggling on this section. So, there's always a reason for those footholds, I think, and just wonder why it's not being used.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a bit, haven't we, about that thought process that these climbers might have when they're back down on the mat and maybe spotting a hold that no one's used. That might be one of them.
So just watching that problem, thinking back to seeing the setters, there's no women route setters, are there, in this comp?
No, there's not.
Not in this competition, no.
Yeah, does that you think is that much of a factor? Do you sort of understand the different strengths? Or are the guys so experienced? Do you understand it?
I think obviously, it'd be great to have representation at all levels across the sport, but certainly I know the guys work super hard on getting the level right for both categories. So I think,
and they are very experienced at it. They have been setting for both the males and the females. And there's route setters here today with us that go to the World Cup and the IFSC. So I think they're really experienced, but that is something I think we'll start to see more and more.
Agreed.
I know they get female setters at the Quip, which is another big competition we've probably missed out on for a couple of years now. So I think they'll definitely it'll be something we'll see more and more of.
Hopefully, but meanwhile, Nathan making short work of this first boulder.
The guys will all know that people are doing this, so when you come out to problem one, it's not so much a matter of doing it, it's just making sure you don't not do it.
Correct. You know what's happened because you've heard the crowd. So Nathan knows all the other guys have done it, and if he can do it quickly, like he's just done there, he's going to be in a good spot. So
and he's a climber that, a lot of them climbed really well in the finals, but he's done really well
he's always
in the semi-finals, and he's always looked like he was having a really good time.
Yeah. And his hair's obviously matching those volumes as well, which is also good. Meanwhile, Gwyneth on female one.
She actually secured herself a place in the final very early on in the semis with a really great top on problem 4, the first top we saw. And
wasn't
actually
it amazing?
One of a few, and she really displayed amazing tenacity. She really worked hard for that mantle move, so I'm sure she'll apply the same thing here.
Here she goes, lining it up. Reverse knee. There's just something about this move that they're all really struggling to get any kind of purchase off this undercut. Squeezing the slopey side.
Yeah, they've really just got to push up into it.
I'm trying to think what else you could do. What are they missing?
It just looks like...
I do wonder if John's right, that they need to sit a bit lower, because there's nothing to really match on. I think they will just push both hands up into the bottom of the hold.
I think the way the hold is with the texture on the underside, they're all seeing that as a thumb and pinching the slopey side on top. I just wonder maybe if it's more of a palm push up into it, in which case they'd need to sit lower onto their feet, and perhaps that's where that little screw on comes in. But be interesting to see. We've still got a few more climbs to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy from where we're sat. Backseat climbers.
Oh yeah, it's the best bit.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it just the best thing? Just sitting
You don't
here
want
and
to do
seeing
it
what
like
people
that.
are doing.
I don't think
So
you
we're
would
here
do
in front
it
of
like
men's
that.
two
Think
now.
about it, Adelaide. She doesn't do it like that.
You see, the thing is, it's just about physics, isn't it?
If I was up there, I wouldn't do it like that.
Exactly.
But the fact is, none of us are up there.
See?
But you know, none
She's
of them.
got rocking some colourful tape on her shoulders. She's obviously sporting a little bit of an injury or a niggle.
Even her tape looks tired.
I like it's go faster stripes, isn't it?
Oh, despite getting so
She's
close to
smiling.
that, she's smiling and calling it.
Yeah.
Save some energy
I
for
always
the next
thought,
problems.
for me, finals was the best thing in the world, right? Because you work so hard for all the year, and then the pressure just drops off. You can just have fun in the finals, because really, you've done what you needed to do for selection criteria for the team, making the final. That's the thing you need to do, and then out of all of these 6 men and women, anyone can win it. So it's kind of like,
Oh, that's
super
quite
fun.
interesting that you almost feel like the pressure's off at this point. I thought the pressure might be on for the podium position.
I think it depends what your personality's like. Someone like Max Milne is like, he's sniping it, he's in it, one shot, one kill, he's there. But I know there's some other guys, perhaps in their first final, who are just thinking, phenomenal, pressure's off, no expectation, I've achieved my goal.
Right, we've got Holly Tutil here setting off on women's 1. Looking very smooth so far, but just taking a little bit of time to find the right body positions here as she moves across. Secures herself a zone very nicely.
Nathan Phillips just about to pull on to this incredibly slopey volume.
Maybe taking a little bit more time before pulling on, knowing that, there's been a lot of successful tops on this men's 1.
Here goes Holly. Let's see if she can figure it out. Perhaps sinking low.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Do you think Holly would reach it off that lower foothold?
I think it would be a stretch,
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's not right. Something's not right.
So she went for a little bit of different...
Nathan's working hard in problem 1.
Yeah, he's really working those percentages. Spending the time, adjusting, thinking. He's so good at doing that. Like, adapting on the fly. Really impressive.
Yeah, I think we definitely saw this from Nathan in the semi-finals, in that he's actually probably on the boulder problem for a bit longer than some of the other competitors. But that's almost a point of experience, because he wants to do it that first go.
Right.
And it's funny because in some ways he maybe burns quite a lot of energy on that one go, but he gets the top as a flash.
Exactly, gets the job done. That's why he's the double champ.
That's why he's a double champ.
Maybe the triple champ, we'll find out. So all eyes on Holly now. Still got plenty of time left.
2 minutes left, nearly.
Yeah.
Really, so she did go for a little bit of a different approach in it. It looked like she tried to stand either on the very edge, or a screw hole.
Yeah, that looked really tenuous, and you could just see when she tried to load the second hand that toe just popped and she was off.
Actually, be really interesting to see from a point of view of height how Tara finds this, because she's also probably one of the taller female competitors.
Yeah.
Here we go. Standing on that volume.
I mean, looking really smooth up until this point.
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? They've all crushed this through.
Just going for that screw hole again. Oh, come on, find that balance point.
Oh,
and just losing that other foot.
so difficult to keep the tension. Just bouncing between. Once you get it good on the right, the left goes, and once you're good on the left, the right goes. So, yeah, some good route setting. Let's check out the replay. Here we go. The match here. You can see the squeezing of that slopey volume, just not getting anything out of the hands. All in the feet.
Yeah, I think sometimes maybe at home the holds can look big because, you know, they maybe take up a certain amount of surface area on the wall, but that does definitely not mean they're good.
No.
In fact, sometimes I think it means they're worse.
Here we go. Probably a final go now. 20 seconds left on the clock. Really needs to be quick. See if she can get the top. It'll put her in a great position. Oh, all of them just bouncing down that slab. Super tricky move.
I'm sure Holly will sit back on the mat though and regroup after that. She has just recently done her first Boulder World Cup and qualified for the semi-finals in that, so she's definitely shown that she's got a really good head on her for competing.
So conversely, we haven't had any falls off men's one, have we?
We have had falls.
We've had a few falls.
But everyone's topped.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of tops. So
we haven't had any tops off.
I think we've had Nathan, Billy, Nathan, Whaley, all flashing it, and then Ben Preston and Matt Cousins taking a few attempts. So Max will know that. He knows he doesn't like to fall. He's a man who doesn't fall.
Yeah, he seems on a very confident streak though at the moment.
He's like the Chuck Norris of climbing. You know, the boulder problem comes to him rather.
And we've got Tara setting off on women's problem 1, who has been on amazing form over this weekend, which is really great to see. She's really good on this sort of technical climbing, so it'll be really interesting to see how she finds this top.
Yeah.
And whether she chooses a different method as one of the taller climbers.
Yeah, she's looking around for something, trying to find it.
And she really trusts her feet, doesn't she? You notice how much she trusts her feet compared to some of the other climbers,
just
which have the assistance here.
She's getting nothing out of the top side of that hold. Meanwhile, Max absolutely floating up this boulder. With a flash, super chill. Taking time to enjoy it. He's always one to work the crowd. I love that about Max. Just gets everyone fired up.
So I mean, both quite contrasting boulder problems here for women's 1 and men's 1, but it's kind of exciting on both sides of the coin really, in that men's 1, like, you sort of need to walk out and flash it.
Yeah.
And women's 1, I mean, a top would literally put you in such a strong position for the rest of the competition.
100%. Yeah.
So currently not much separation created by these two problems, is there? A bit of
No, a bit in the men's, I guess, like,
yeah, you got 4 out in front and then 2 just a little bit behind.
And most of them have got the zone and the first go.
Yeah, I think just perhaps Gwen didn't get the top, the zone, sorry. But
it'd be really great to see a top here from Tara.
Absolutely. Just slipping off on the
it just shows you how.
That's always it's always mixed, isn't it, coming out last onto these boulders. You know what you need to do or not do, as the case may be in this one, but also the holds are getting in worse and worse condition as the competition goes on.
Yeah, that'll be a significant one, because there's no, unlike in the first round, there's no break between.
Yeah. That's it, stemming out into the groove, really strong from here. Got to drill these feet now as we go over. Come on, Tara.
Getting up there really smoothly again.
Yeah,
just got to try and find
got to get the weight
method.
on that left underneath.
And I guess the hook doesn't work because you can't pull leftwards on your left foot. The left foot has been pointed.
She's actually looking for anything, like even sort of the lines between the plywood, just anything to get some traction on that foot to be able to match that hold.
I saw there was a wasp buzzing around up earlier on. I think if that passes by again, she'll be using that. Anything.
But normally, in these kind of...
I actually almost wonder whether they could just stand up into only that left foot hold. Maybe actually it's too hard to get anything through that right.
Problem, John?
Say again?
Have you been talked through that problem?
Yeah, we showed it on the screen to everybody.
And what they say?
That it was, I can't remember what he said, teetery introduction to the event, I think was how he described it.
That's pretty vague, isn't it? That's what I'd say.
Well, we're going to say goodbye to women's 1 with no top, which is a shame.
So, here we go. Men's number 2 and women's 2.
So we've got some fresh problems here for us to look at and try and solve ourselves from our little comfortable commentating seats here.
Absolutely. Ben Preston getting those volumes in good nick. Smart move from him, wearing the little shoe covers to keep his boots in good condition.
So look at that. That's
the men's as it
played
stands.
1-1-1, played 1-1-1, played
one.
1-1-1, played 1-1-1.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of green there.
Yeah, all the guys keeping pace with each other at the moment, which is cool. And similarly in the women's event, no tops, but pretty much everybody together, few zones.
But I guess what this shows us is that it's going to be quite exciting, like probably down to some pretty fine details in separating out these climbers
Absolutely.
today.
Can't see on your screen right now, but Ben Preston just slipping off that volume.
That
really good effort.
That zone hold must be worse than it looked. It looks like a really good hold from here, doesn't it? But obviously,
which
Ben
one?
slipped off
The
it.
zone hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a slightly awkward sloping shelf. The three that are in a vertical line are a bit more square edge, a bit more like on a ret that you can really press into. But a lot of the higher ones are
so that's not
slopers.
Holly Tootle. It says Holly Tootle there. It's
yeah, we've actually got Gwen there,
Gwen.
not Holly, but we've joined Gwen on women's 2. She's the first female climber out on here, and looks like a bit of one of those coordination moves.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't look like a hard one, but just it just nerves.
eking every drop of power that these climbers have left in their arms.
Yeah, and skin.
And skin.
Yeah, but Ben doing really well on his first attempt, smashing all the way through to zone.
Yeah, he's hopefully gathered some information from that attempt and now can maybe try and go to that zone with a bit more control or something if it's not quite as good as he thought or hoped.
I think perhaps it was like a hip position. He needed to be a bit more proactive with the feet, getting them set
Get a
up.
foot higher maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Shuffle up this groove every attempt. Now his left foot just needs a bit higher so he can do the flick. So we're going to switch now to
So we're here in front of men's 2 now. What delights have you got in store?
This is where the physical difficulty ramps up a lot. This one is just hard.
Okay, and what makes it so hard? Is it a slopey problem, conditions?
Yeah, it's like slopey, compression and a lot of tension. If you get your body in the wrong position or if you slip or swing about too much, it'll be very hard to hold on.
So Gwen really is struggling on this coordination. Gwen's struggling in the coordination maybe, but didn't she?
Yeah, early on in this problem, and so we just heard a bit about the men's as well. Sounds like physically just very difficult, compression, burly,
tension,
and a lot of tension.
Yeah, be interesting to see this kind of problem that is in two halves almost. You've got a really hard compression, getting stuck into the groove, and then getting out of the groove onto what looks like a more flicky compression squeeze section at the top.
I think the setters, they've done a really good job, haven't they, of making things really burly and physical without necessarily being that steep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Ben just thinking a bit more proactively now. He's shuffled his feet up a bit higher.
Yeah, sort of thinking one move ahead.
Exactly. So now he can
Come
fling
on,
out.
Ben.
Yeah, exactly. So figured it out. Just looking.
You think is that the way to do? Jump for it?
100%. Yeah, I think it's going to be a flick move out and then squeeze that compression. And
Gwen decided to sit down with about 30 seconds left on the clock. I think she probably thought, after quite a few attempts at one set of moves there, that it was best just to save some energy.
Tap out and keep it for the next round. Yeah. So I think we're going to switch over, give you a little insight into women's 2. Alex Fry.
Okay, so in front of women's 2 here, things start to ratchet up. Are you increasing the difficulty?
Yeah, this one's a bit harder, a bit more physical, potentially a few different ways to do the start, so I think we might see competitors trying a few different methods to get across this corner.
Okay, So
Jen's struggling with that coordination move again. It's a tough intro, isn't it?
Well, you heard from Alex Fry there giving a little insight into it. There's a couple of ways to do the climb, and definitely up a notch from block 1.
Right.
So obviously with no tops on women's 1, and then a harder block 2, might not see any tops either. Meanwhile, Billy absolutely smashing through these volumes, taking his time. Just missing the foot plant.
Just missing that, and actually hitting that black jewel texture part, which actually probably hinders you more than it helps.
Part.
You know, if that whole hold was textured, that might have still slowed him down enough to hold on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're talking about coordination moves. It's not just a matter of jumping up and catching that one. It's a matter of thinking where your centre of gravity is travelling through the air and how that affects where your foot's got to be on for that.
Correct.
The end
and
position.
This is something that these climbers do so naturally. They've practiced it so much. It's actually really intuitive, I think, when they do it on the wall a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think compared to strength move coordinations, they do it first go, because there's so many factors to think about, haven't you? It's quite a tricky thing to do first go.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's really what sets the guys apart, as we can see through the competition. The guys who can just take their time and really think on the fly and adapt to, you might read it one way, but actually when you're up there, it's completely different.
And I wonder if on this women's 2, the route setters there saying there's a couple of different ways to do it, and I wonder if there's a static way of doing this initial tricky section, rather than trying this sort of burly coordination style
it looks
move.
super tensiony, and
maybe a knee bar on the left.
Oh, there's got to be a knee bar everywhere, hasn't there?
There's got to be a knee bar. I still didn't see any cracks. Still no cracks.
No, we didn't get any cracks.
Maybe not this year.
There's a crowd all look pretty psyched. Nice crowd here.
Yeah,
really great turnout. I mean, the fact that this event is up and running isn't just great for the climbers and the competitors, it's really great for all the spectators as well.
Yeah. Here goes Billy for his next attempt. He was absolutely walking through this section, but Ben was really struggling to get out of. Absolutely mauling it. And here he goes, squeezing these volumes. Let's see if he can do the flick out. Plant that leg this time. Ali. Come on, Billy.
Come on, Billy.
Here we go.
Come on. I mean, you really see from the fact that they look just a little bit more tired, even on a second attempt, how hard and draining these problems are.
Yeah, I mean, we're down to 38 seconds left, and they're both thinking about it, so I'm surprised about that.
The only thing he realises what they're under, because whenever Billy fell off, he more or less did 360 in there before he landed again, so that shows the sort of
we got a nice slow-mo of that there, didn't
we probably should be scoring that separately, the dismounts. We should probably give some points for that.
Prize for the best dismount.
Right.
So having to move pretty quickly now if he's wanting to coordinate here. He actually went for a bit of a different
bit of a cheat method. Yeah.
I mean, we joked before about just dyno for the top, but maybe that's what he was hoping.
Even down, smash it out. Be interesting to see how Matt gets on with this, because in the semi-final he was the first guy to top block 3, which is the hardest one. And I think this is obviously, route setters were saying this is the hardest one as well. Just wonder these kind of flicky, dynamic, high contact strength moves, whether that'll suit him well.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting to see how Emily finds this.
Yeah.
So really looking quite good there. So although the route setters have said that women's 2 is a step up from women's 1, I know we didn't see any tops on women's 1, but actually most people got to the last move and were trying to match it. So although we didn't see a top, the numbers maybe don't reflect the female climber's actual ability to top that climb necessarily.
Absolutely. But Matt making really short work of this groove section.
You're a big fan of Matt, aren't you, John?
Matt is my man. He's my man, Matt. Here we go.
Again, his foot just
you've got to get your foot in the yellow foothold, don't you, or else you'll lose it.
And Matt's such a season. He's the oldest competitor here this weekend in the men's field. Pretty sure in the female as well. But he's super experienced, and you can just see his brain turning every time there's something wrong. He reevaluates, and that kind of experience you just can't buy.
But if you could buy it, how much would it be?
I don't know, to make another BBC final. How much would I pay to make another BBC final?
How much would you pay for Matt Cousins' level of brain wearing experience?
Oh dear, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Both guys getting ready to pull on. Emily
back into it.
Come on.
Just real stopper move for the women on it on the start.
Yeah,
of this
she's
time.
going. Ooh.
Yeah, she's figured it out.
Oh, that was
I think
amazing.
I have it. I think I have it.
Yeah, that was a right spark
Insight.
of excitement from her. She's
Yeah.
definitely like a fiery climber.
She's great to watch, isn't she? Because
Yeah.
there's guts in it.
Here we go, Matt.
That was those like eureka moments that I think these climbers absolutely love when they
Yeah.
unravel something.
Matt goes for it
Matt,
again.
oh, and almost making that work.
Just
Come on,
looking
Emily.
at that left hand.
Right, we've got Emily now. Like I think she's the one to watch. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is something quite
Yeah, there
different.
she goes.
Amazing
Oh, wow.
work.
Figured it out. You could just see that spark in her face. It was amazing. She fell off. Just, I know what to do. Right, and
Oh,
she's
nice.
away. Let's see if we can get our first top. That's our first zone on women's 2. Come on, Emily. Stick with it. Keep the tension. Left foot now. Come on. Take your time. And she's in. Take your time. Yes!
Oh, and that was
So that's our first
Well
top.
deserved. Well deserved.
that was a really that really looked like a good creative bit of climbing right
Absolutely. You could see she was thinking on the fly. Matt Cousins back straight away to that same position, trying to find out. He knows it's all in that left hand, but there's just nothing on it, and he's really confused because every attempt he's hit that right hand, and sure, he missed the foot plant, but he knew that even if he got the foot plant, there was something with the left he was missing to keep compression between the two holds. So
there. I thought you were just going to say, oh, and he's just confused that he hasn't done it yet.
well, yeah, there's that too.
So I guess just a bit back to reflecting on Emily's attempt on that women's 2 there, or not attempt, her top.
Her top,
It
yeah.
sort of looked like she had a eureka moment, she'd unlocked something, and then everything else just flowed from there, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like, oh, I know how to do this climb now. Right, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Matt, 10 seconds left. Yeah, absolutely smashing this. Come on. Nothing.
That'll be it.
There we go, Matt.
A stubborn little problem. Number 2.
What a little rascal.
Yeah, a little rascal, isn't it?
Oh, bloody
Next time we've got Nathan Whaley and Gwen Dudley. Hang on, G, you haven't started yet.
Get a restart of the clock.
These two are sort of similar climbers in some ways, aren't they? They're having good fun. They're having a good fun.
Yeah, Gwyneth's just getting a little bit told off there. She's set about starting and the timer hadn't stopped yet. Cheeky little smile over to the judge. She's just so psyched to get going.
That's it. So yeah, all the competitors know it's all about the prep. You know, get the holds into good condition, give yourself the best conditions and opportunity to succeed.
So it'll be interesting to see how Gwyneth does. I feel like she was really good at unlocking sequences in the semi-finals, and this definitely looks like a tricky one for working out as well.
Yeah, and I just
I guess she'll know the obvious way isn't the way.
Exactly. I just wonder if she's perhaps heard or had a better insight into how the problem works.
And you know, they all might have chatted through this possibility when they got to look at the problem before it started. But you know, some athletes might have chosen that one method might suit them better.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, Nathan. Come on.
Nathan getting stuck into this groove section. All the guys seem to be getting into it, getting to the zone.
Oh, he's really getting quite
He was
contorted in there.
properly into it. That's Nathan's thing. He's really, really flexible actually, and does tend to just get bendy.
He's getting bendy with it.
Yeah.
Come on, Gwyneth.
Still smiling though. Great to see.
Yeah, he has a good look of intrigue when he comes down.
As if he's up
It's
to
a bit
something.
of a like a
So,
Oh, come
here
on,
we go,
Gwyneth.
Come on, G, come on.
Just trying to figure this section out.
So she's just missing that element that Emily did, where
Come on, Nathan.
Emily
Come
dropped
on.
that right hand down as well, with the toe hook a little bit turned so that she could drop that right hand down to her toe hook.
And I think at the same time she turned that
Right.
left hand as well to give
Because
her a
Gwyneth has been
lateral push, I
eyeballing
think.
the same hole, but just
Yeah.
not having the.
So
the,
Gwyneth's getting in that same position with the toe and then going, oh, I don't know how to get across. Here's Nate. Got a pounce now. Come on, Nathan.
Come on, Nathan.
Ah, just not enough out of that.
Still time.
Still smirking, still smiling.
Yeah, Gwyneth just looks a little bit more, I guess, awkward in that box. You know, she's having to bend her leg.
Yeah, you lose a lot of
knee.
toe hooking power when you bend your knee, don't you? Whereas,
yeah, she's almost trying to bend her leg to pull herself over towards that hold, which just looks like a slightly more awkward position than Emily found herself.
Yeah, Emily had a
when she was
straight
there.
leg, didn't she?
Yeah.
You think it's down to the fact that Emily turned her hand, inverted her left hand?
Yeah, I seem to remember that. She just could then get that lateral
I might
push.
go over there and tell her.
Yeah. I just want to help.
I just want to help.
There we go. She's trying a different method now.
Come on, Gwen, come on.
Nathan, once again, super stuck into it.
So again, we've got Nathan Whaley putting in a really good fight to try and get into that space.
Oh, you have an idea.
Okay, she's back on.
Come on, Nathan. 30 seconds.
It's an incredible amount of effort from both athletes, actually. There's the number of attempts they're having.
Yeah, you got to invert your left-hander, otherwise you wouldn't be going through all the toe hooks.
Exactly.
You'd just go straight, wouldn't you? Because then that's what the toe hook games you, the chance to turn your hand around.
Yeah, take some weight off. Yeah. So no tops on that rotation. Guys still not had a top, so Nathan's normally pretty good at figuring out things. We'll just see what his approach is for this time.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone's going to show us a top on men's too, he's probably a pretty good option.
Yeah, him and Max are just seem to be definitely on a level above currently anyway. Lots of preparation.
So it'll be interesting to see what Holly goes for, because we've seen two options which people have gone through and they've kind of maybe moved between them.
Yeah. I think some people will be very adept at coordination.
Yeah.
It would be the faster way to do the move.
Yeah. Save lots of energy, and I think if you could do that, it'd be the advantageous way to do it.
Yeah. It's the thing you don't want. You know, you don't want hesitation in your movement. So when you know there's multiple ways to do things, that sometimes isn't the easiest thing. Okay, Nathan making his first attempt here.
Holly
through
definitely
these volumes.
taking a look at her skin there. The weekend taking its toll on the climbers.
Getting really stuck into this corner section now, Nathan.
Come on, Nathan, come on.
Yeah, excellent from him. Compression.
Yeah, taking that hold a little bit differently than some of the other climbers.
Yeah, I just feel his feet might be a little bit too low. I think he's going to have to shuffle a little bit. Here we go, yeah, shuffling up.
Come on, Nathan, come on.
And then
Oh, and he's
get ready for the
almost
pounce.
chimneying between those two.
Come on, Nathan.
Here we go. Giving it the pounce. Get ready for it. Come on, Nathan. Yeah.
He'll need his left hand.
Oh, really good.
He'll need to bring his left hand up, to sort of side pull a bit more, won't he?
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This is awesome from him. First competitor to really chill in this position, adjust.
And sort of get to explore more of the possible ways of doing it, I guess. Also, he just came off there, but I do feel like he probably learned a lot on that go.
Yeah, I agree. Just knowing all the holds, and obviously they train on a lot of these holds at the climbing works. But depending on the configuration and the angle of the wall, obviously it changes each time. So,
do all these climbers have access to Unity?
Yeah,
anyone who's here has got access to Unity.
Most of these athletes will be on the British team, so they get full access to that facility.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a really amazing thing.
It's been like a rota system essentially, and so obviously if you live in Sheffield, you've been at a real sort of benefit when there's been some of those travel restrictions, you know, and you could travel but only locally.
Yeah, and that's been an amazing opportunity to have that when very few walls were open there. The elite climbers had access to that in sort of elite setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cutting edge holds and
I
together
mean,
to sort of
they
share
need
ideas.
it to prepare for the competitions coming up, and obviously with climbing being in the Olympics, it would be a real shame for them to be denied that facility.
Absolutely. If all they knew was a 1-inch edge.
And in the south, Ben Preston also has the access to Volume 1 climbing wall, which he's been able to train in. So that's good, and obviously showing.
Where's Volume 1?
Just south of London. Here we go, Nathan Phillips again. Second attempt. Moved a bit quicker through this section. Obviously learned, as you say, Maddie, learned a lot from that first go. Now pretty confident he knows what to do.
You can still really see the effort that it's taking, all his effort pretty much just to hold him in these positions.
Super tenuous groove. And he knows he's got to explode out of it.
Oh, with only 8 seconds, 10 seconds on the clock, I think that'll be it for those climbers.
Good, but Max doesn't like to fall off.
He does not like to fall off.
Don't look him in the eye.
He might kick off.
Yeah.
I think he might kick off.
We're in like the prime position to get a chalk bag booted at us.
Was it my fault? Sorry, I didn't make it.
And we've got Tara out now on women's 2.
Yeah. Cool, calm, collected.
Cool, calm, collected Tara.
Yeah. See what Max
Yeah,
makes
you
of
can
it.
see it, you know, she's in no rush to get on, is she? She's just which is amazing to see, really. You know, there's a big crowd here, they're all cheering, loads of support for these climbers, but you can really see that to some extent, not that they zone it out, but you know, they're really just focusing on themselves and how calm they need to be.
Yeah, here goes Max.
Making really quick progress here.
Yeah, that's super impressive. He just needs to explode out of this now. Get that right foot on.
Left foot really high up that ramp.
Yeah, it's a bit different. Might be a fraction too
Left
high.
hand really high.
Oh.
So I guess that position that Nathan Phillips looked sort of unlocked, but also looked like he was having to work hard to stay in.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's really going
Max
red, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Nathan was really...
And Max just sort of looks like he's relaxing. So
Yeah, just chilling, straight up chilling. Yeah, I think he knows what to do now. It's just a really difficult cut loose.
yeah, I wonder if that drop knee that Nathan sort of, I was going to say fondle, you don't really fondle a position, do you? You fondle a hold, but you kind of did the
Wiggled.
the equivalent of holding that position. I wonder if that could be useful, or whether just uncurling from it would be too difficult.
Yeah, I think it was a bit difficult to get out of, personally.
In retrospect, it makes success in women's 2 really impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what happens in an event like this. You just get that one top and boom, pumps you straight. It's so far ahead of everybody else. So super impressive from Emily Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, she's no stranger to good competition results.
Yeah.
She's been around for a while, but it's really impressive to see it here. In the senior competition.
Yeah, Max swirling up again.
He fits in there quite well, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly right. Knows
She's
he
really
needs to
strong
go quick.
through the shoulders as well.
Come on, Max, come on.
Oh, there it is.
Come on, Tara, come on.
That's like the money move, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about what he's trying to achieve there,
There you go.
two hand movements and a foot plant all at once.
Yeah.
Amazing effort here from Tara as
Yeah.
well. Now looking really strong on these later moves now that she's got through that first section.
Is this her third go? This Tara's third go?
Yeah, very quick.
Maybe fourth. She's definitely made good progress here.
So she needs, remember this top's a little bit tricky. There we go. Zero emotion, silent assassin, just absolutely smashing out the boulder. Here we go, replay.
Oi!
Max wants some noise.
Come on, you little devil.
Keep it going, long on the wall. Come on, Max, come on.
Here we go, Max, 40 seconds left.
Everyone getting behind him now here at Devonshire Green. It's really
Think he
great
knows
to
what to
hear.
do. He's going to fire it out. Here we go.
Come on. Come on, Max, come on.
Oh!
So close.
So close.
25 seconds.
Yeah, I think here, again, it's just one of those things. If they had the time,
Think about it.
absolute formality, but no, he's taken his towel. He's done.
Good work, Max.
He knows nobody else has done the climb, and 15. He's already got the zone on first attempt, so not much to be gained with 15 seconds to go. Save the skin.
Most of the guys got the zone in first go, is that right?
Yeah, close to first, I think.
So
yeah.
it's all been...
Now we're on
So pretty
to
tied so far on the guys' stuff, whereas the women's race, like I said, right now, those two successes and problem two.
Yeah, I think Emily and Tara will be ahead there, and I guess they both got the zone on women's 1 first attempt, and hopefully we'll get an update here with the numbers, so we'll be able to tell you more.
Yeah. So not quite right on the graphic here. There we got an error, but yeah, we'll update that shortly for you and get that correct. Problem 1 is accurate, but the problem 2, we're looking at zone holds, not tops. So we'll get that updated for you shortly. Still plenty to go. We've got another 2 problems, but we're officially halfway through. Woohoo!
3, 2, 1, off you go.
Quite nice to see on women's 2. Quite nice when you get that kind of a few different ways of doing it, and the climbers can find what suits them. Because say Emily and Tara both top the problem. Very different approaches on the lower part, though.
Was there? I should have been watching.
Yeah, Emily used the toe hook. Tara couldn't use it in the end. She doesn't like toe hooks.
Right.
So we just had a little break there. The route setter's actually stripping a few holds off the wall to sort of free up the space for the boulders that the climbers are getting on now.
Nice. Good.
And here we go, Gwen, making really good progress on this.
Come on. Good.
First final, climbing really, really well.
Come on, Gwen.
Yeah, climbing really confidently through this section. You know, when you can see that the way they've thought about doing it is bang on right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very flexible looking, isn't she?
Here we go. Just needs to get those feet settled. Here we go.
Really good work from Gwen here. She's eyeing up the top.
Yeah, you've got to give it everything now. Stand it up. Here we go.
Just not quite getting the distance there.
Same with Ben Preston.
Bit of simultaneous falling, a bit like the simultaneous tops that we had before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I love
really
it when the athletes do that. Shows mastery, doesn't it?
Synchronized falling. Yeah, although it does make our jobs more difficult because we have to watch both things. I think
so we're going to go and see how men's problem 3 goes. A bit of an explanation. Let's see that.
Okay, men's 3. Coming towards the end of the tour, what have you got in store?
So I'd say this is subtle coordination into a little bit more flamboyant coordination. So it's sort of a lot of little coordination moves with quite a cool flamboyant finish. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Come on, man. Come on.
Okay, so there's the insight to men's 1, flamboyant coordination.
Oh, and that was flamboyant coordination. I would say that I agree with the route setter's description.
Absolute banger of a block there.
If there was a guidebook for competition blocks, it would say that it was a flamboyant coordination problem.
Yeah, really happy with that, Ben. Good to get one under the belt for him. That'll fill him with confidence.
So Gwen just needs to get her left foot high to make sure she gets the distance in this, doesn't she?
Yeah, so she's back up to where she was before. Oh, and she just misses out on that top again.
Just wonder perhaps if there's some kind of shenanigans getting the foot back over to the zone hold that might help. I don't
matching
know.
it. I feel like she would have the flexibility for that if it's possible. Like maybe even if you can almost palm down on the edge of it.
Yeah.
Come on, Gwen.
She's got 1 minute left on the clock.
Plenty of time. She's making short work of this transition.
You just see there, she did a little grounding sort of moment, like close your eyes, breathe out.
Just at the gym.
Come on, Gwen. Come on. Come on.
It's quite nice with the live stream here today. We do sort of, we don't just get to watch the climbing, you get quite a good insight into sort of their whole approach and whole experience on the mat.
Yeah. So pressing this move out. I mean,
Come on, Gwen.
Probably getting a little bit tired on these moves now.
Pretty physical, isn't it?
Just got to keep focused. One more go. She's got 15 seconds left, so she's got to be quick. Here we go. Feet. Come on, here we go. She's got to fire this off quick now. There we go. 1. Give it some. Just not enough.
She's just trying the same thing each time. You sort of wondered if the
just not enough in the bicep on the left side, but really impressive from her.
I think sometimes, she probably could envisage from the mat to maybe do something different, but I think sometimes when you're tired and you get there, you do just realise that your body can't do that.
Yeah, it's been such a long weekend for these guys, and the amount of training they put in before the event as well. It just sometimes, it can be the case when you get to finals that you're almost just completely gassed and you've got nothing in the tank, but yeah, good to see them still trying.
Yeah, I mean, really good from her there, and you also just really got to see, she's obviously one of the younger competitors, but a really mature approach, like I could see her sort of checking in with herself at the zone, kind of giving herself a moment and not rushing these things.
Exactly. Jen, super strong on the shoulders through here.
So we're on to women's 3. It's almost at the end of the competition for the girls. I understand you might have made a few tweaks to a few climbs. Is this one of them?
All we've done, so we haven't changed any moves. We've just turned a few holds just to make those moves very slightly easier. There was a lot of, the women had a bit of a beating in the semi-finals, lots of bleeding fingers and stuff, so just toning it down very slightly. This one's a little bit more like some outdoor climbing, a few bit of a traverse, a few knee bars, a bit, palming onto a slab, that sort of thing.
There we go. And bang on time.
Just
Billy
in time
Rydell.
to see a great top from Billy.
Casual, as you like. Amazing effort from him.
And a really good attempt at top from Jen. She got up to that last move. She's got up there quite quickly. So, with 2 minutes 20 still on the clock, hopefully she'll be able to get herself back up there again.
I'm pretty sure she will. And obviously amongst the team of guys, they'll all be aware of what's happening.
Jen's gone to a few World Cups herself. Oh, we just got a replay here of Jen's go at the top. Not far from getting her fingers around that sort of lip.
Yeah, I think she just perhaps didn't believe she was going to get the distance, and then actually when she committed to the move at the top, she realised she was a lot closer but was already on the way down, so maybe she'll learn from that on this attempt.
Jen's preferred style of climbing is basic burly.
Yeah, Jen really likes kind of basic burly problems, but it doesn't mean that she's no dab hand at like the other styles. So this one's got a little bit of both, I would say. It's like quite burly, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's basic. Like, you've got to sort of bridge out to that volume, and
it's involved, isn't it?
Yeah, involved.
Yeah.
Which is definitely something I think the route setters have done a really good job of,
Yeah,
the burly problems are still very involved.
Yeah, really have to try and challenge them in different ways across the round. It's just incredible that they can mix up the styles across the whole competition.
Okay, with 1 minute on the clock, she's going to pull on for another go.
Oh, perhaps getting gassed
Sag.
out. Yeah, Sagaloo.
Yeah.
That was like a sag and a stroke, because as she sagged, she sort of stroked the
I know. That deserves a point.
Really needs to give it everything now, concentrate. One last go. Oh, she's just powered out, I think. She had that one really good go at the start. Maybe that was the opportunity, but she's given it everything. Another 25 seconds to go. Tough call because she's already secured zone. She's lying flat on the floor, absolutely spent. It's been such a long weekend. On the home straight now, just one more climb to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think these climbers, they're tired, but they are happy, She's sort of, there's a little bit of a, but also still that smile is behind the tiredness, I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Niall. It's a bit like you. Smiling, but there's a tiredness behind the eyes. He's seen things.
I've seen things I shouldn't have seen.
So Emily has come out and sort of got straight on this problem. Like, sometimes climbers take a little bit of time, just to look at it again, maybe refresh their memory, but
I think
Emily's got stuck right in.
She's just really fired up after that last one where she figured it out.
Almost looked a bit too fired up. Like, losing her feet there, I think it's...
There's a difference between fired up and burnt out.
Yeah, she's going for it. Here we go. There it is!
Oh!
Amazing.
Bueno.
Amazing.
Well, being fired up seemed to work wonders for her.
Yeah, absolutely smashed that. She's just walking back in front of us.
She brought home the bacon there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see her very pleased, like, under her breath there, talking to herself, probably, hopefully giving herself a little pat on the back.
Meanwhile, Matt Cousins just not quite as flamboyant as he would like. I think he should go back to the perm. I miss the perm.
What do you think? He's not quite, his appearance isn't quite flamboyant enough for the problem?
Yeah, he's a man who enjoys the flamboyant in his
we've got a replay there of Emily on that really great top on women's problem 3.
That wasn't in the bag till it was in the bag, that one, was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things, she commits to the move, but she also really believed that she was going to get it. You could see it from the moment that she turned around and her 4 minutes started. She was just all focus.
And there's Matt Cousins.
Oh yeah, finding his flamboyance.
Ooh, going with the left hand first. It's going to make this next section a little bit more tricky. Yep, shuffling the hands. Teetering across, here we go. And then little foot plant to finish, here we go. Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that little fall at the start. You know, that's the thing with those climbers, we're never happy unless it's perfection. Yeah.
Off you go.
So next out we've got Gwyneth and Nathan Whaley. Brush, 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 the usual. Get the brush. Get the grips in good nick.
I'm not sure Emily even brushed it. She just got out and she's like, right, I'm just going to...
I'm having it.
Yeah.
Do you want it?
Get on there, and there's probably not going to be holes left on the wall by the time I'm done.
Yeah.
Really cool to see that after so much climbing, these climbers can still have like that amount of energy.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the kind. That's is it too early to say those are the kind of things that make champions? You know, just getting that extra little edge on top of the field.
And she just ran on enthusiasm there, didn't she?
Yeah, she was psyched out of her mind. Meanwhile,
I will take you this.
Gwyneth having a little fondle.
I take the cream. I take the cream with my left.
Come on, Gwyneth.
Coach Jock.
Come on, Jake.
Nathan's on. He enjoys a little bit of a pop, so I'm sure he'll figure this one out.
Come on, Nathan.
Yeah, there we go. Super casual on the swing.
I mean, they often really do make these moves look quite effortless, don't they?
Yeah, but they are not.
No.
It's like a swan. You know, it looks beautiful, but underneath they're just going. Here we go. Come on, Nate.
Come on, Nathan. Come on.
Oh, Gwyneth's trying something a little bit different here and actually going across with her feet first, which sort of is doing a good job at keeping her on the wall right now, but I'm quite interested to see in how she will sort of switch this around.
Unravel from it.
Yeah, and this is another one, you know, in that old 4+ system, you could be there for a minute or two.
You can see a lot of energy going into this, isn't there?
Come on, Gwyneth.
Amazing. Yeah. His shoulders getting really fatigued there.
Knees getting a little bit scraped up.
I know.
No knee pads here.
Nathan just had a little fall, messing up the top section, unfortunately, but I'm sure he'll figure it out. Lots of knowledge. Every time these guys get on, they're learning something.
Gwyneth sort of hands on the hips there, sort of looking at this problem and being like, huh.
Adopting a slightly different start position, which is totally legit.
As long as it's on that black volume.
As long as it's on the volume.
That's better.
Cuts
Oh,
out
and
a
that
move.
looked like it could work for her if she sort of sticks with that.
Here goes Nathan.
Oh, he's back up to sort of where he was. Let's see if
Got
we
to
can
get the
just...
foot plant. Just perhaps a little bit too high on his feet so that he's not engaging that right shoulder to push off. He's just getting quite high, which means he can't load the crimp to the left hand. Minute left though. Plenty of
Come
time.
on, Gwyneth. Oh, she makes this first move work. You can just see the amount of effort going through the shoulders
It's just
there.
that hold. The only way to transfer on that hold is if you guppy it the other way around. So fingers pointing to the left-hand side, because then you can press off onto your bicep and put your foot on the black volume.
And for a lot of them, that was just instinct. But if you don't spot that, suddenly it's just you become blind to it maybe for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's looking like most of the others. I think they caught it like that, but go for quite a quick rearrangement. I think the problem is as soon as you slow down on it in that way, you maybe don't have that momentum to switch. We get the sag.
We get the sag. Yeah, but I mean, really feel for these guys now coming into the
We
end
might
of
brand up sagging, because then you might next year there'll be sag coaching.
Yeah.
Be sag. We could be the sag team.
The anti-sag.
So Gwyneth put in a really good effort there, and I mean, she's got that tape on her shoulder. I think I saw her give a little wiggle of that shoulder and
Tell us
walk
about the
away.
tape. Tell us about tape, Maddie.
Go faster, tape.
Yeah, so she's got that. That's just to provide a little bit of support, usually to basically help out some of the smaller muscles that you have in the shoulder, like the rotator cuff muscles.
Okay.
They provide that stability to the shoulder, you know, really sort of flexible joint, and something that, you know, these climbers, they'll use that flexibility a lot, and so, yeah, it's to add like a very, very tiny bit of stability.
Yeah. I'd be cocooned in it if it was me. I'd just be like wrapped up.
Yeah, and I noticed Matt Cousins has got some as well. Maybe you get a strip for every extra year you compete.
Yeah, something like that.
So Nathan Whaley will probably be a bit disappointed not to get a top on that men's 3, I'll imagine, after making such good progress and looking so good on it.
Yeah, and I think first guy not to top that climb as well, which would be heartbreaking. Obviously that puts him on the back foot for the rest of the comp. So again, Holly needs to figure out that change.
Zero footholds there, just all on the shoulders, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go, she's managing
karate.
to make that switch into that position we were talking about before.
Get a little chill out on the knee bar, get some energy back before coming into the palm down with the right hand, which she's just starting to figure out now. There we go.
Yeah, she was maybe just a little high initially with that palm.
Yeah. Pressing out onto this next move. She's used a lot of energy on this, having to figure out on the fly, so hopefully she's got some left for this move as she lines it up. Yeah.
Oh no!
She's just too casual.
A
A little bit too casual on that that move. She had it really well. I think she just completely slipped. But
she's not pleased with that, is she?
She is not.
No, she's got 2 minutes on the clock, but as we've seen, unfortunately, just because someone makes it super high on a boulder doesn't necessarily mean it's a given that they'll get up there again.
Yeah.
But hopefully she will.
As we see Nathan here, getting up high, his own first try. Now he knows the little hop move. 1, 2, there it is. Absolute. You wouldn't think it, but a walk in the path for him.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be tight on probably attempts to top, I would imagine, when we do get some of the scores. And here we've just got a replay of Holly Tudor just not. I think she just, as she sort of, maybe she rotated a little bit more off the hold than she thought.
I think she was just trying to like get that left hand out, and then something gave way. Anyway, she knows what to do now.
She'd be faster in this part.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if she didn't figure out what to do. Yeah. Even
really
using
nice
the knee bar.
use of that knee bar to come round onto that hold. So she is our reigning champion.
That's right.
Come on, Molly, come on.
And that's going to save quite a bit of energy for this top section, not having to campus through into that shoulder change at the start.
And she reaches this next hold pretty casually, doesn't she?
Come on, Molly.
Here we go. Left hand, then she'll bump the right foot in and line it up. Alley-oop. Yeah. She's absolutely livid. Kicking the wall in frustration that she knows that single attempt could cost her. But still one more to go.
Yeah, it's sort of, I guess, funny for some climbers to think, oh, a top is great, but when you're in such a tight field as this, it's going to come down to attempts.
And
so she went with both hands in the end there, and I think that just helped her hold that sort of, that's like helicopter thing that we see with their legs when they their feet come off the wall.
And of course, having not topped that second climb, I don't think Holly managed it. But you know, she knew she needed to get a quick top on there to give her any chance going into these last.
So Max will be expecting to do this one pretty quickly, I'd say.
Yeah,
he'll know the sort of vibe is sort of.
He knows it's toppable.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got Tara setting off on women's 3 for a very short attempt. She looked a little bit surprised herself. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Yes, we've got Tara and Emily Phillips, both in a really strong position, basically.
Yeah.
Tara hasn't obviously had her 4 minutes on this problem yet, but if she can get a top, then that'll keep her in line.
Top quickly as well. Oh. Just got the Sagaloo going on there.
Yeah, with a little lean against the wall.
I know.
This is how tired they are. They need a bit of support from the
Here
wall.
goes Max, lining up this little pop. Great from him. Extra little paddle with the feet as he was moving through.
Yeah, an extra little bit of flamboyancy. If only they got points for flamboyance.
I mean, we'll give the points.
Yeah.
The cool points. They're the best. Here we go. Max, got to keep us cool now. He knows what to do. Yeah. Amazing from Max.
He turns to the crowd. He really sort of loves that element out here.
He needs it. He knows what he needs to do. All he needs to do is keep flashing boulders. Because even if he's on a draw, goes back on
Count back.
So he
to the previous round.
Yeah, and as he's finished in first position in the last round, I mean, obviously he'll want to win it without any of that going on, but yeah.
But if it does come to that, he'll be, rewarded for the efforts that he put in
and his
in getting to
consistency
this final.
throughout the whole event.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't fault that.
So we've got still with Tara here on women's 3. Arms maybe looking a little bit tired.
I would
Probably
say
rightly
so. I would say so. Yeah. I think you're onto something there, Maddie.
There we go. She's got that foot up now, so should be able to get stuck in. It's just whether she's got enough to do the final palm and then slam dunk the finish hold.
Come on, Tara.
Here we go. Nicely done. Smooth through here. Got to try and be really efficient, not slip with the feet.
Come on, Steve, come on.
Maybe take her time as well. She doesn't want to have to do that start again.
And here goes the slam dunk. She's lining it up. Got to be really careful now. Just that right foot across. It's probably not the way forward. I think both the other girls have kept that right foot more on the point of the pink hold to push up. She looked like she was a little narrow, which didn't give her the ability to generate upwards momentum.
Come on, Tara.
All eyes on Tara. 30 seconds.
She's got 30 seconds, but we have seen how burly the start of this boulder problem is here.
I really hope she can
I
get
mean,
back up
I'm
there.
rooting for her, but it's really hard to pull onto a start like this in that quick succession.
I think that was her go, to be honest. Yeah.
The swing against the tide, isn't it?
She knows it.
Wading through treacle.
I really feel for Tara there, because that was such a good effort, making it all the way up there.
On to our final boulders.
But yeah, as the commentator at the venue says, on to the final boulder. Let's see what we got. Probably,
So I guess the climbers know that they can really give it their all. I mean, they have obviously been digging deep so far, but this is their last climb. All skin can be gone by the end of this.
Absolutely, all
whole
or
body
nothing
could be
situation.
covered in tape.
Yeah.
So we got women's and men's side by side here for the last one, and really interesting hold selection.
Yeah, on the right, brand new brand, contact holds, made by one of the route setters, Max Ayrton. Look, some super good shapes, bouncing around off these multi-move.
I was going to say, yeah, both of the men's and the women's final problems look to be a quite powerful start.
Yeah, this is just pure bouncing. Keep that momentum and use it, and then.
Which, at this stage in the game, it's maybe hard to have much bounce left.
I know, yeah, I really feel for the guys.
But this is what they love.
Yeah, and Ben Preston's really good. He's been, I know, practicing all of these kind of moves.
Nice, Gwen.
I think on Gwen's problem, the trick is to actually do another move after this first dyno to progress up to the next hold.
So there's you wouldn't suspect a toe hook around there, that doesn't come into it, does it?
Ben
You're
going
right,
for
it wouldn't be
a
that far.
slightly different approach here and really making amazing progress.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that's the way the route setters intended it, but he's broken that boulder. Here we go. Keep it together now, Ben. Come on, get that zone. Come on, got to commit to the move now. Ali. Yes.
And
Come
he
on.
sticks it.
Oh. You can see that handprint on the zone hold from where he just hit. Absolute wet through.
Okay,
good
finale
effort.
to the men's round. Finish on a high. What have you got?
Well, yeah, so this is the finale, so fairly flamboyant starting move, so hopefully you'll see some spectacular moves on the start of this into more of a sort of physical finish.
Okay.
So we've got to see Ben pull off that move again. That first move, that sequence with that heel hook, which was inventive and great, but definitely looked like, I guess as we're all a bit older, I think about my knees when I look at that.
I know. Yeah. And definitely not what the route setters intended, but very impressive. Just incredibly hard heel hook that.
You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't get a top here in this final minute, there must be some satisfaction from breaking the route setters' problem, surely.
Absolutely, yeah. Just amazing.
A bit like the flamboyancy points,
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if women's four is a triple clutch.
I think it is.
Quadruple clutch.
Steady on. They just need to drop the hammer.
So we're getting a little glimpse at the scores there as they stand, and I think they've been updated for problem 2 as well.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, all coming down onto this final boulder for both categories. But Emily Phillips
sort of
the one to
out
watch.
ahead, ahead of the rest, really.
So provided she doesn't have a total meltdown on this last climb, which is unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, she'd probably have to really struggle, and
Everybody
Tara,
else to-
Tara
or
to
Holly to do it. Yeah, with Tara or Holly.
Oh
to
yeah,
flash
Tara
it.
or Holly. That's it.
Which is possible. Emily's out in
it
front
feels
with,
pretty open,
with
doesn't
2
it?
and 5.
And watching them all climb, they've all been doing well in some.
Yeah. If Holly comes out and flashes it, or does it in 2-3 attempts, and Emily doesn't do it, then she retains that title.
She does. I mean, I have to say, seeing Emily's almost excitement on women's 3 to the point that her feet were actually coming off a bit. She had some excess power she was displaying there, and women's 4 looks pretty powerful.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see how Jen gets on with this first move.
Yeah.
Gwen really struggled to generate anything off it.
Oh!
There we go.
She's still really sloopy at second one, isn't
Well, I wonder if you're going to then go
It's
to
a
the
3.
next one.
Yes,
It
I think
is.
it's a
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. Is that a triple clutch though?
Yeah.
Here we go. Billy giving it the bounce. Yes. Absolutely smashing it. If he flashes this, he is in with a really good chance of being British champion.
And
he's already got 2
come
flashes.
on, Billy. Really, just
Change
keep
to a
it
toe
together
hook.
now.
Yep, there we go.
Come
Come
on.
on, keep it together, Bill.
Come on.
Super hard finish. Yeah. So
You can see that emotion. I almost thought he might kick a chalk bag at us out of excitement.
It was almost as
that's
if he
amazing.
cared.
Oh, we just got a replay of him coming down here. We're going to get
Here
a
we go.
show of the emotion.
I am Spartacus. Well, this is Sparta.
And I mean, Billy has been competing for a lot of years now, but I think I'm right in saying that he's never taken the title, and he's probably been close a few times, so it'd be really cool, I think, to watch him walk away with first place here.
And basically it's all down to Max and Nathan now.
Yeah.
If they both flash it, unfortunately Billy wouldn't get it on countback. But,
so he's going to be sat watching the crowd and hoping that
and out of all
his
the times,
competitors might fail.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that people can mess up quite easily. We saw Ben really struggling multiple attempts with those bounces. So it's quite possible that we might see Billy Rydell be crowned British Bouldering champion.
And then there's some potential that in the women's field it might be Holly might retain her title, or it might be Tara or Emily.
Yeah, all still
And maybe put a 5 on Emily.
Put a 5 on it, okay.
Put a 5
Noel, what are you in for?
Yeah, I'll go for that. I'll
you have
just
to, you have to do someone different.
Yeah.
No,
Let's all go for the same person.
5 for Holly.
5 for Holly, okay. And I'll put a 5 on Tara then. There we go. Here
Jen
we go.
looking really good chance for holding this move. Oh, there she was. She was
That's a
got
good
that
effort.
sequence
That's a good
of
effort.
those 3, yeah.
Really, really good on these coordination moves. 1,
Yeah,
2, and then just not hitting that third pull.
Just not quite high
She's got a
enough,
minute
but I
left,
mean,
and if
she's
she
got a
holds that,
minute.
she's got to finish the problem, right?
Yeah.
So she knows exactly what to do now.
Yeah.
Looks like a knee
I
bar
think
to
getting
finish.
the zone would be relatively straightforward, and like you said, I think it's probably a knee bar and sort of double matching. You know, not really holding the top hold, more just
Yeah, because it's pretty
touching it.
slippery, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to get it. Probably got to get a
Double palm.
a heel hook on the right.
Come on, Jen.
1, 2. Oh!
She doesn't look. She's not quite sure whether she wants to actually
Yeah.
just stick in
You
that
just- you
first
just-
hold and hold it,
Just
or whether
on
to go for
the cusp of relaxing on it, aren't you, for a second?
And I think the key, the reason maybe it doesn't work that way is because there's no foot really for you to plant with your left foot to then.
There's just a
counteract.
slippery wall.
Yeah. A slippery wall of hell.
Come on, a final effort from Jen.
Oh, that was the best go yet.
Yeah, super impressive from Jen. Here we go. 4
Got a
seconds.
few seconds. She's really giving it her all.
Oh.
Amazing fight there from Jen Wood. Really showing her flair.
So next out we've got Emily and Matt Cousins. Let's see what these cool cats have got. Brush, brush, brush. Emily knows what to do. She is in great position to take this title now.
I think actually good to just slow her down a little bit as well.
Yeah. Don't
Give
get
her
overexcited.
yeah, just when attempts might matter. Quite nice to
Absolutely.
check in again with the problem.
Here we go. Oh, just not catching that. Oh, amazing from Matt. He had his hands in the right position, but just like both hands were just there, but missed the hold and then straight off.
He actually went for both hands, and I think when Billy did it, he just got one. I was getting a replay of how close Jen was there to holding that third hold.
Nice. Great from Matt. Just so strong through that bounce.
Oh, amazing work here from Emily as well. Absolutely powering through the sequence.
Matt as well. Here we go. Synchronized
I
tops
reckon
maybe.
she's lined up well for a top here.
This is it. If she tops this, she will be the British champion. Amazing. She can't be beaten if my maths is right.
Yeah, I think her face shows that she knows it as well.
Yep. And the same for
Awesome.
Matt. Top for Matt Cousins. Going to be in good shape. Awesome. Awesome.
Really great
Good
displays
effort.
from
That was
both
good
of
effort.
those. Have to say, I thought Emily looked super strong on that.
Yeah.
She managed to do the stopping on the first hold and actually managed to lower her foot down to that start hold.
Yeah.
We're just getting a
Amazing.
replay of her celebrating at the top there.
That was amazing. Huge, huge congratulations to her. She's definitely been leading the pack since she came out and did that second problem.
Yeah,
Just-
it's well deserved.
you could
isn't
see it
it
change that one time she looked round and she just looked to the crowd and went, oh, I know what to do, and then
Yeah, there was
down.
definitely a sort of a
Like
fiery
watershed
mindset
moment.
after
Yeah.
that, wasn't there?
Nathan Whaley there giving it a bit spring. And we got Gwyneth Utterly as well on her final block. So every block so far has been climbed in perfect split apart from women's one, which they were missing some kind of trick.
Come on, G, come on.
Here goes Gwyneth. Oh, amazing.
Oh.
Almost
So
holding
close.
it.
Really close, and I think a bit like Emily, she's noticed that you can actually probably drop a foot down onto one of those starting holds to stabilise you there.
Here goes Nathan again, giving it the bounce. Amazing. Really good contact strength. He's so good. at this kind of movement.
Come on. Come on.
Go again. Toe hooks in. Match. Press. Come on, Nath.
And we've seen how hard this match is.
Yeah.
And he makes it.
Really good effort from Nathan. First Senior British Bouldering Championship final. Great effort from him. Looks a bit disappointed, perhaps on that third boulder, and maybe felt like he could have done it and stay in the mix with the rest of the guys, but still, great to finish off your comp strong.
Come on, G.
Oh, unlucky.
How's the skin
Gwyneth really struggling with those coordination moves at the end.
And I mean, I'm not surprised by the look of all the tape. I actually saw she set off on the first move, and you can actually see her right hand just slip a bit, just at the moment when you'd probably rather it didn't slip.
Yeah.
They'll probably have tomorrow off, won't they? Would they?
Yeah.
Say they would. Tell me they would.
Yeah.
Oh, heartbreakingly close from Gwyneth there.
I think we should make it a mandatory day off, shouldn't we?
A day off, yeah. A holy day.
I'm going to need the day off.
Doesn't everyone get a day off if England win? Yeah. Here we go. End of the competition for Gwyneth Hutterley.
Come on, Gwyneth, come on.
Can she go out with a bang?
Yeah, it's 1 minute left. A lot of attempts on this climb, giving it everything she can.
1 minute.
Yeah, this is good. Just giving herself actually a little moment and doing some brushing instead.
Yeah. Try and lower that heart rate. Focus on this move. One good go. Smash it
Come on,
out.
Gwyneth, come on.
Yes. That's it.
Come on, come on.
Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Oh my goodness. Had the position.
Drat.
Yeah, we really are seeing...
You little rascal. There she is, holding that position, and then her feet just give way as she's trying to get that foot on the foothold.
Come on, come on.
Heartbreak.
Come on.
Oh.
Everyone getting behind her here.
15 seconds to go, so see if she can make the zone quickly. If she can. No, she's just done.
The live commentator here just sort of ordering Gwyneth to get on for another go there.
Awesome effort.
And
from
she
her.
obliges with a massive smile on her face.
Bleeding from multiple tips. She wipes the blood off on her legs.
She
Amazing.
can't be disappointed with that, I don't think. She
No,
really gave it
got
her
a
all.
really good show this weekend.
And like you said, we're seeing like a lot of attention people, really. People sort of not giving themselves much time to rest on the mat.
No.
Okay, so
Apart from the real players.
Nathan,
The real players do it, don't they?
this is a big one for Nathan. Obviously, we've pretty much decided, pending appeals, the women's category, but Nathan Phillips is definitely still in the mix, and he
Guess
needs
for
to
the women,
flash
you've
it.
still got second and third place
Exactly,
to sort of
for the
fight for,
podiums,
though.
Yeah. Come on, Molly. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, amazing effort from Holly.
Amazing.
Oh, a
Here goes
flash
Nate.
on this would be absolutely awesome from her. Come on, Holly.
Come on, Nate.
Nathan just falling off
She's
that.
just looking for the sweet spot with that knee bar there.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
She
rush
knows
it, don't rush it.
Don't rush.
Don't
Come
rush.
on.
Come on, Holly, come on.
Yeah, get them both in. That's it. Now engage the core. Come on, pull it in.
Come on.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Now you got to get out. There it is.
So
She's
she
bleeding.
might not
She's
be able to
bleeding there.
take that first spot from Emily
Look at
Phillips,
that
but
sort of-
pretty amazing to walk out and flash women's floor.
Yeah. And Nathan just had one fall, which of course
Come on.
currently
Means a lot.
puts him down the order. Billy Rydell had 3 flashes, sitting in first position at the moment. Nath needs to do this.
Just
Needs
needs
to do it quick.
Go again for
Yeah.
this next hold. He's
All the
maybe
guys.
not quite read it the same as
Good
everyone
ball.
else.
There we go. And then drop that toe in, match it. Change to a toe hook, Nathan. Come on.
Come on, Nathan.
That's it. And now press. Come on, Nathan. Super tenacious climber. Right foot out into a back step now. Come on, Nathan. Great angle on the screen here.
Got to
Up high.
release that toe hook, which looks really difficult.
Oh.
He's fighting hard.
Amazing effort from Nathan. Not sure if he touched the wall or not on the side.
Two amazing efforts there, fighting the strength of this stage.
I think it's good. Judges giving him the right. But now,
I can't quite see where the tape lies on the other side, but judges have given him the top, I think. So great.
So we got Tara and Max Milne all on the line. Places to fill on the podium in the female category.
The women's rank been separated really well, isn't it? Really stretched them out.
They'll probably be frustrated with the first boulder because obviously nobody did that, so it's already a 3 boulder comp, but still, they got the split. And Tara absolutely floating through that nose. Max, laser focus now from Max Milne.
Yeah, really taking his time before pulling onto this boulder. I mean, almost a minute of his time gone.
He knows what to do, and he knows he's got to do it in one try. I think that silence says everything sometimes. You don't need to fill it. You don't need to fill it.
The little moment before the crowd started getting behind him then.
Let's give him some respect. Here we go. Yeah! This is it. He needs to focus.
Very elegantly done there.
Really needs to focus now. And again, Max. Yes, toe hook in. Match. Press. Into the back step with your right leg. Here we go. Yeah! That's it. He's done it. Absolutely smashed it. A whole weekend, he has absolutely smashed it. That's great sportsmanship from Billy there.
I was going to say, Billy going and giving him a hug there.
Yeah, and he's done it. What an amazing effort from Max Milne. Pretty sure he's one of he may be the youngest competitor in the final today as well.
Oh yeah, that might be true actually.
Maybe the youngest British champion
ever.
Wow. Okay,
that was good.
We'll check that.
How old is he?
Oh yeah.
It's hard when they all just look young, isn't it?
Finney.
So we're still with Tara here on women's 4. She's looking really good.
Come on, Tara. Come on. Let's get behind her. Come on.
Tara Hayes still smashing it.
She's just in that midpoint, isn't she, of not choosing to stop on the first hold, but not quite catching that third.
Dig deep.
Right, come on, Tara. Just not quite getting the height on that hold there. Still got a minute, and it really would be an amazing finish to her final here.
Yeah, and
she's done so well throughout the weekend.
All there. It's all there to be had, isn't it? Amazing watching Holly flash that one out. Awesome.
Yeah, obviously really suits her. Well, they're going for the different method of actually stopping on the first hold. So
I think you just get out there and it might work for you, and it's almost like a surprise. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Because as you say, even Tara's not decided what to do. Like get out there and you sort of it all just feels right, and you say, okay, well this is cool, now I can move on.
And I suppose when the competitors know there might be a few different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
If they go out, they'll choose whichever way they want to try it first. But if they do it that go, they've not got to decide anymore. Whereas if you don't, and you're still left slightly confused about which way to try and do it. Oh, and that is the countdown on her time. She really tried hard till the very end there.
And that is it. That is it for BBC's 2021.
That concludes the competition.
Amazing.
And I think John is going to head off and
try
and corner some of the competitors for us. So we'll hopefully be getting some live interviews from them very shortly.
So we do know champions this year are
Emily Phillips
and
Max.
Max
the future.
There's going to be some sort of award ceremony. I hear it is.
I imagine they'll get them up on these podiums that they have.
These cardboard boxes.
No expense spared.
Oh my God. Thanks again to the sponsors out there, everyone. It's wouldn't run without you, of course. When I say thanks to Beta Setting, the Sheffield Bid, Rubicon Run, of course, La Sportiva, BMC organising it, and GB Climbing, and everyone who's put their time and effort. A lot of volunteers involved in this thing this weekend. It's been a triumph of pretty much last-minute organisation. And it's all gone so well, so I think everyone involved should be very proud. And of course, amazing to have the crowd along as well, which has made so much energy here today, isn't it? Good effort showing out.
Yeah, it's been an amazing day.
Yeah.
Also, quick time to start, enjoy the rest of them. Freestyle scoring. Obviously, a big round of applause for the route setters.
Okay, so we're here. Max Milne, you did it, brother. You did it.
British Boulder Champ 2021.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? How psyched are you right now?
Without them, there would be anything to watch.
It's mad. Like the pressure as well. I knew I had to flash that, and it was droppable because it's a jump. Now I just fed off the atmosphere, man.
Yeah, you really work the crowd. That's like one of your things you can really build off that. I know you've got a list of stuff in your life that you want to do. You get to tick one off right now. How does it feel?
Yeah, man. Let me go get my diary and I'll let you see me tick it off.
Yeah, man. Okay. He's got this amazing list of things he wants to achieve in his life, and the guy is ticking them off as he goes. Here we go. Check it out. British Bouldering Champ. Say it.
Become British Boulder Champ.
Legend. That's it. Max Milne, your British Bouldering Championship 2021 male champion. Good effort, man. Amazing.
Look at that.
Anything you know what happened in Wimbledon?
What?
Some balls, I'm being told. Tennis.
Okay, so I think that we are back from some of those. So we're back from the interviews there with. We're back from the interviews there with Max, and I think we were getting a little view there of his diary and his goals. You know, this has clearly been a big goal for him for a long time, so that's really special, isn't it? Really nice to see.
Yeah, and also we're probably going to hear from Emily too. I'm very psyched for Emily. Emily looked like she really wanted it today.
Oh,
she
did.
That's what came through.
She definitely worked hard for it and climbed really, really well. Such decisive climbing from Emily, I think. That definitely shows through, doesn't it?
Yeah, and when you see it coming on pure psych, that's a good thing to see, rather than just that sort of, sometimes you'll see someone who's obviously a bit stronger, and then So are we over to the next interview yet? Or Maddie, what was the highlight of the competition for you?
Oh, I don't know. I think actually coming out and watching Emily sort of really sort of have that click on women's too. When she turned around and she was just like, yes, that's it. And I think probably a little bit because it's her. She's coming up in the ranks into the seniors. You almost think that it would be a bit harder for them or something, but I think it's really cool to see someone come up and sort of look so confident out there. And I think the way that she carried that through onto the women's 3 and 4, I think that was a real special sort of run of sort of good climbing energy and psych.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your highlight?
Well, the same again, and it's almost like whenever she started stretching her lead out, wasn't it? She started running faster. And sort of then just looking over her shoulder at other people on the way. If you imagine it as a sort of 800 metres or something like that.
yeah, that moment when they look back and realise, oh yeah, no, I've dropped them.
I'm winning. How did the interviews go there, John? Were you talking to Max?
Yeah, we had a little chat with Max. I'm not sure if you guys picked it all up, but he's just psyched out of his mind. It's amazing. He has his training diary. I don't know if you guys saw at the end.
Yeah, we got to have a glimpse of that on our screens here.
And he literally has all of the targets in his thing, and become British Bouldering Championship. British Bouldering Champion was there and ticked it off in his book.
Right.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What was the next goal?
World Champ. World Cup winner. Like the list is pretty incredible, and I back him to do it. Like, I mean, amazing.
Well, it's fair to say that it's been a success and a triumph to sort of put this on. It's been really good.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of organisation that always goes into these events, but I guess there is an added layer, isn't there, of COVID and like making it work from a point of view with isolation. How is that going to work? How are the timings all going to come together? And I'm really glad that they managed to put it on. I think the competitors were all really psyched to get this chance to, they've been able to train and go to the wall, because they're athletes and they have unity, but it's not the same environment as this.
This is what they're in it for, isn't it? These competitions.
Yeah, for sure.
Also the cheese to use to hide a small horse. Master Cody.
I'm talked out. I'm done.
So here on the screens we've got the women's scores from today. So we can see Emily Phillips out there in front with 3 tops in 7 attempts. So we see that she managed top 3 of the boulders. Holly managed top 2. One of those being a flash, which was an amazing effort. Tara with a really nice top there on women's 2, and then we can see that Jen and Gwen and Gwyneth, no tops for them, but some zones, and I think it just shows how challenging these problems were, and the route setters there did a good job of separating them, despite maybe not getting all the tops they wanted, especially maybe on women's 1. With that cheeky little top there, wasn't it? A right little sting in the tail.
I wonder we should try and find them and find out what should have happened.
Yeah, I bet the competitors want to get back out and get on them.
Yeah. So here now there's Matt Symes from the BMCs presenting the winners with two cheap bits of pewter with a few names scratched on it. It's kind of like the best thing is you always get the worst prizes, don't you?
But they mean a lot, right?
Sure. Yeah. You don't even get to keep them, do you? So Tara's getting a prize. Tara in 3rd place is getting a prize. Bronze medalist.
She gets to stand on a little cardboard box.
Yeah,
amazing. So good. So Holly going to hand over the baton. Obviously the 2019 British Bouldering champion.
This year is Emily Phillips.
Yeah, here comes our new champ.
Amazing.
Absolutely smashed it in that final. Really impressive.
And you can see, obviously, she's got a mask on, but you can see from her eyes how much she's smiling.
Yeah, that's amazing. Such a good effort. Emily Phillips, British Bouldering champion 2021. Absolutely awesome effort from all the competitors, making it all the way through the weekend. So good.
What's your highlight, John?
My highlight, honestly, Max Milne on that last boulder. Just the amount of pressure that guy was under was incredible. And held it together.
He just isolated himself from it, didn't he?
Yeah, really impressive.
So we've got the men's score on our screen now, just so we can see there. We can see from Max what got him that win and how close it was to Billy Rydell.
Yeah, just losing out on countback. Billy Rydell, awesome effort in the final. 3 flashes, absolute raw when he topped that final boulder.
I mean, I'm actually...
Here comes Max. Amazing effort.
And it's quite like a deafeningly loud amount of noise from the crowd here, which is actually really nice, both for Max and for Emily.
Crowd pleaser. Max Milne, British Bouldering champion 2021. One of many goals that guy has. Fantastic to see him smashing it. So. Okay. So, that's
Awesome.
it. Team, British Bouldering Championships, we made it all the way through to the end.
And now the rain started.
I was going to say, the rain started, and I just see the crowd behind dispersing really quickly.
I think that's a metaphor for the event.
Yeah.
Well, listen, folks, we hope you enjoyed it. Devonshire Green has been buzzing this afternoon. Maddie, you had a good time?
Oh yeah, I've had an amazing time. I actually feel like it's been a real privilege to have this sort of front row seats to this show.
I know. And now, are you? Have you warmed up a little bit, or are you miserable? Do you need a hug?
He's welling up.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, super. Hey, thanks for doing it with me. I really enjoyed that. It was good fun.
Oh yeah, good crack, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess everybody at home, hope you enjoyed it.
I guess everyone's home stopped listening.
They've seen all the good stuff. We better leave them to it.
Yeah, I mean, they've all turned it off now.
I think there's something happening tonight anyway.
Yeah, maybe some other game with a ball. Don't know.
Not important anyway.
Right, see you everyone, thanks.